I don't know if I know that song.
What?
Is it a slow
What?
song? Like, is it a song that
No.
would have played at like a school dance?
Yes.
Yeah, they definitely played "I
Yeah,
Want to
back
Sex
then.
You
No,
Up" at our middle school dance.
honestly, back then though, it probably did because I remember going to school dances and like, what was that song? We had to pick songs because in my eighth grade, everyone did like our music teachers like we're gonna do music videos. So like everyone grouped together, we picked songs, and I forget what song I picked, but she came up to us later and was like, "Yeah, I don't think you guys can do that song." And it was like, I don't think it was Big Daddy Kane. I forget who it was. It was like something like
Todd's like,
it
let
was
me, let
something.
me do some old dirty bastard. Like,
Oh, what was that song where it's like "Kiss me and I'll kiss you back"? I can't
I
remember. It's
know
like
that
I'm,
song. I couldn't tell you who sings it.
it's like I think that might be it. But oh man, I remember we had to like switch it last minute. We were like, "What the fuck?" But it's so funny because my school is all like white dudes. We had like Public Enemy as one of the videos. It was like it was like the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
Yeah.
I'll go ahead, Mike. You're gonna say something?
No, I don't think I was. I think I started making the sounds as if I was going to speak, but there was
Nothing.
nothing
Nothing.
going on in
No.
my head.
No gears turning up there. So today, I went down to the Willows for a little bit. Get a quick walk in. Do my thing. Hold on, Jen's texting me. She said Digital Underground. I don't know if that's
Yeah, it
accurate
is.
or not,
It
but
is. It is. It is. I just googled it. Yeah, that's what I
um,
think we tried.
so we're down to the Willows, and I can't even fucking tell you how pungent the popcorn smell was from so far away. Where like I didn't go down there to get popcorn, but here we are. So we're getting a
I thought
thing.
you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say that like people just smoking some trees over there.
I mean,
You were
that
like
wouldn't
it was
surprise me
pungent.
either. I mean, I've smelt smells before. I know what things smell like.
God forbid Brennan ever like got high and got the munchies and got like several trash bags full of popcorn.
Uh, I listen,
That
Jen,
shit's dangerous.
Jen, what
Dangerous.
Hobbs popcorn?
Yeah, I got we because we've already gone twice this year, and every time I've inhaled the popcorn, and Liam's like the next day he's like, "Can I have some of the popcorn?" I'm like, "It's all gone."
Yeah.
I'm
Do,
like,
do you get a
Sorry,
trash
but
bag?
it's
He's
no,
like,
I just get the large one. I can't get
Yeah,
the trash bag because I'll eat the whole thing. Like
that's the problem.
it's
You eat the
bad.
whole
Yeah.
thing. Mike's making a squint in his eyes, making a disgusting face at us, but
no, I'm just saying like Todd's like I've already been twice this year. I'm like Brennan's been twice in like the last month.
I didn't get trash bags the last two times. I purposely the last two times I went, 2 times ago, I was like, no, I'm not doing a big bag. I'm just gonna get a large. Gonna
I just
enjoy
love
this.
I just love that one of the sizes is literally trash
The trash
bags.
So
bag.
I
Yeah,
don't know what the
right.
size actually is, and it is not an advertised thing you can buy. You have
I
to just
wonder why.
you just have to know it's a thing you can order there. But I don't go up there and go, can I get a trash bag of popcorn? I go, can I just
I'll take two trash bags,
I go,
please. And
I go, can I get the really big bag? That's what I say
Really big bag.
because I don't know how else to order it.
I
Without saying
wonder
fucking
if
trash bag.
I wonder if you go to the movie theater if you could buy one of their like quote unquote trash bags.
yeah, because
Like
that's all they carry. That's all it's in. They keep
that's
going
yeah,
up
that's
on
how
it,
they pour it into the machine.
Right.
I wonder if you could
Yeah,
like be like, can I get one of them bags?
Can I have popcorn, please? You want a small, medium, or large? Can I get the really big bag? They look around, it's like, told you.
Who
Just
told you
hand
about
the
this?
big bag.
Listen, I like movie popcorn, even though it's garbage, but I like it for what it is, and it makes me think
It
of the
depends
movies.
on the movie theater because I think AMC movie theater popcorn's trash.
Yeah, it's whatever, but I'll still get a fucking large popcorn and smother it in butter and have a good time.
IMAX movie theater popcorn's really good.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But Hobbs is like good popcorn. Like it's this big old ass machine that's spinning. Like they make it pop it fresh. Whew.
It's so funny you say that because I was talking to Amanda. I'm like, how much do you think it would take if we like? How much do you think it would cost to buy like one of those machines? Like if they ever sold something here, like if they're trying to get rid of equipment. Because I was like, I think I need that.
Listen, if I was
I
ever
need that
gonna
in my life.
like buy a local business in Salem, I feel like it'd always be a coffee shop. But if Hobbs
Yeah,
ever
that
went
would
up
be.
for if Hobbs ever went up for sale, that'd be hard for me to say. Let's
I
not
think it
buy
would be in the
Hobbs.
millions. I think it would be in the millions. So I don't think that would even
You think
like
it makes
be
that much
like the same.
money?
Yes,
I mean, I guess if
absolutely.
you're charging like $9 for a fucking large popcorn, I won't.
It's a
I
staple
won't
too.
reveal the trash bag price. But
What is it? 14 or 15? I can't remember.
it's
What
18,
is it?
which
18.
isn't
Okay.
terrible. It's a lot of popcorn. Like it is a lot. Like it is. It is a lot of popcorn. It takes
Do
me.
you just sit on the couch and put the bag over your head and just start like pushing it in?
The trash bag of popcorn is so much popcorn, but the pit like it doesn't. looking at it doesn't do it justice because I will eat so much of it, and then I'll look at the bag when I close it back up. I'm like, it looks like I didn't eat anything. Like there's so much popcorn here. But anyways, I end up getting the bag of popcorn. As we're walking back to the car to put in the car, some lady walks by, and who's also having a large, not a big bag, a large popcorn.
It's like, you okay, buddy?
And I threw it in the back seat of the car, and she goes, "Oh, you better buckle that thing in. That's precious cargo. You can't have that knocking over or whatever." And I was just like, I get in the car, I'm like, this lady like on my team, or is she fucking judging me for this big ass popcorn? Like,
no, she's on your side.
She wants to protect the popcorn here.
Yeah, she's on your side. She knows the worth of that popcorn.
Yeah. I'm curious how often they sell bags that big. Because there is, like, if you look at the front of the store, it's like they got the sizes in the window, but they do not advertise
I think a lot,
big bag.
because I know Walsh goes like several times throughout the year.
That is how I know about this, is because Walsh brought it to one of your cookouts one time. Yes, and I was like, you can get that much popcorn from Walsh. Yeah, right. That's how I fucking figured it out. And I'll never. If I can go to the movie theater and get a bag that big, I would just go to the movie theater on my way home from work and like take that home. I still go to Hobbs more, but I'm a trash person. Sometimes you like trash things, and trash movie popcorn, great.
What if you just got a regular sized bag and brought a trash bag with you? Aren't they free refills at AMC?
That's not a bad idea. If you're a Stubbs member, you get free refills.
Just keep pouring them into the trash bag and handing it back to them.
Listen, there was one time where I was having like a rough week, and Jen, on her way home from work, stopped at the movie theater and bought a large popcorn. Anyways, I'm a fucking trash bag. Welcome everyone to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we talk about trash bags of popcorn too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Friday evening is the anime senpai himself. He's so fucking money and he doesn't even know it, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing this evening?
I legitimately forgot it was Friday. I don't know what day I thought it was. Forgot it was Friday.
I paused because I also forgot it was Friday. I was not sure what day it was, to be honest. I woke up today in a frenzy because I kind of panicked, not knowing what day it was when I woke up. And I hate that feeling. I hate like feeling like, shit, did I oversleep? Do I have to do something? Like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Like, whatever. Anyways, also joining us is the Fortnite father, the Dua Lipa dancing daddy, Todd Gary. Todd, how are you doing tonight?
I am just anxiously awaiting Mike's pick for the next movie.
Ooh.
Don't get your hopes up. Don't relax.
Mission Impossible 3.
Relax.
Right.
I mean, that is the good. Well, actually, was it 2 or 3?
It's a good one.
Really like? Which one's John Woo?
John Woo was 2. That one's so ridiculous, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. But yeah.
Mission Impossible better or worse than 007?
Worse, I think, personally.
Or not.
It depends on what 007 you're talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of weird just because there's so many
Daniel
007s.
Craig, I would say 007. And that's probably the only thing I would say. I wasn't a big Pierce Brosnan guy.
What's the best 007? Daniel Craig?
I mean, I'm sure diehard fans of Bond would probably say like early, like Connery or like stuff like that, you know. Like, but for me personally, like
George Lazenby.
I'd say Casino Royale is probably my favorite Bond.
So for you, it's Daniel Craig.
Yes, 100%.
So Daniel Craig Bond up against Mission Impossible because it's the same.
So like
actor.
Daniel Craig got me to. I always watched the Bond movies, but I always walked out. I'm like, that's fine. And then the Daniel Craig ones, I was like, whoa, that was really fucking good. Like that was a really good movie, you know. And like I always thought they were too goofy before the Daniel Craig version. Yeah. And I think that I like the more serious tones.
Okay, all right. Rounding us out, the Disney daddy, Dominic 40. Dom, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well.
Where do you stand on this 007 versus Tom Cruise thing?
007 versus Tom Cruise?
Yes.
That's actually a scary fight. I think Tom Cruise is stronger than Ethan Hunt.
I don't know who Ethan Hunt is.
That's who he plays
His
in
name
the
is
movie.
character.
Did you not watch Mike's movie?
I
You
mean,
fucking
no,
piece of shit.
I
You
did.
didn't.
There,
Like, no, I didn't.
there was a car chase scene at one point in that movie where I was like, "Oh, am I just watching Fast and the Furious now? Like, what is this?"
Of course, every car chase is Fast and the Furious.
I mean,
Tom, what do you
name a
think,
movie
though?
that
Do you
has a car
think
choice better. Is there a better car chase movie than Fast and the Furious? Mike?
Yes.
Yes.
Ronan has a great car chase.
People love the French Connection.
Yep.
I would say there was a good car
I'm
chase
missing
scene.
something, too.
Smoking the Bandit.
There's a good Smoking the Bandit. There's a good car chase scene in one of the Jason Bournes, I think. I forget which one it was.
I feel like
I was very personal.
Didn't the Matrix have a decent car chase?
Yeah, I think Matrix 2. Matrix 2 is like, it's amazing.
I was going to say that one. That was great.
Oh, the one
That
with the
whole scene
ghost,
is
right?
amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like that would be a good long form topic at some point, like best car chases. We'd have to dig deep and look at some stuff, but I feel like there's some stuff there.
I mean, Mad Max is one giant car chase, and that's like so good.
Sure.
So, I mean,
I've never seen any.
OJ and his white Bronco.
just watch the most recent one. It's so good. I was gonna make that my pick. I might even.
Is that
put
Fury
that
Road
up.
or is it something else?
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite movies of all time too.
Really?
It's insane. It's all practical effects. It's not like
that I like. That I'm a fan of.
Yeah, it's dude. I think they filmed this movie. It took them like 6 months. It's like guys on poles as the cars are driving. Like it's insane. Like what they did for this. It's like I want to say what I read. It was like 5% special effects and everything was real.
It's crazy,
Like, it's crazy
that the first Matrix was all special effects. Like I didn't know that, and it's fucking bonkers to me. But Dom, what do you think of? No one's gonna call me out on that, all right? Dom,
I didn't care.
007. Your favorite 007 versus Ethan Hawke, wherever the fuck his name is, Tony Hawk's son.
I don't even know what the question is anymore.
It changed.
I don't even know. I don't even know if Mission Impossible.
You could say Mr. Bean now. No one cares.
I don't even know if Mission Impossible and 007 are comparable things.
I think my favorite 007 movie is The Rock.
Yes, for real.
Like
I agree with that.
Like The Rock with Sean Connery, like
that
the
movie
Alcatraz
is
movie.
so good. Yes.
I have seen that movie.
And there's a great car chase in that.
You've seen? Wait. Can we stop? Brendan's seen The Rock.
That's a good movie.
But he hasn't seen, I don't know, anything else that we've ever talked about. Toy Story 2.
Wait, who's the other actor in The Rock? I forget.
And Nicolas Cage.
Sean Connery?
No, I said Sean Connery. Is it Nicolas Cage?
Oh, what's his name? Yeah, and what's his name? The guy. The bad guy's actually he's so good. Ed Harris.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Remember when Ed Harris is giving his speech at like the end, like when he's like saying why he did what he did? It's so fucking good. It makes that movie so much better.
I have definitely seen The Rock more than once.
I'm so confused.
Listen, when it comes,
I get more and more confused on this podcast week to week.
When it comes to cinema, it's very hard to kind of put me in any type of box. Like, there might be a week where I say 8 Mile is my favorite movie of all time, and then there might be a week where I say I've seen The Rock, but I've never seen any other 007.
Sometimes we talk about bags of popcorn too much.
Exactly. See,
Todd
fucking gets it. A couple of housekeeping things before we roll right into this chaotic.
Can we real quick? I want to get your top 3 films of all time.
Oh, this is bad. You don't want
to try this one again
today? Yeah, no, just real quick.
Just Brenden.
Okay. Because I want to get a flavor of where we're at in July of 2021.
All right,
so we can revisit this in like 4 months, and it's completely different movies.
Sure. Yeah, July of 2021. You want to know my top 3 movies? Can I give you a top 5 at least?
Yes,
The Nice Guys.
I'll give you a top 5. Yeah, Hereditary, Midsummer. Watched the other night. Really good. Florence Pugh fucking kills it. Like literally kills it. Kills her boyfriend too. It's crazy.
Wow. Spoilers.
Confused. I'm actually confused. Did he actually watch it?
No, you'll never know. I'm actually a big fucking Aziz Ansari fan. Wherever the fuck. What's this the director's name?
Ari Aster.
I knew it was double A's.
I was like, there's no way he's getting this thing.
I knew it was double A's. Double A batteries. Fucking can never find them when you need them. Always triple A's in the drawer. I don't know why. Anyways,
always.
Top 5.
That's Jesus.
I don't know. It's gonna always be embarrassing. It's always gonna reveal.
That's fine.
In no specific order. I'm gonna throw
off the
top of my head. I'm gonna throw out Scott Pilgrim. Great film, ahead of its time.
Yep.
Still holds up. I watched it recently. Fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, fucking watch it. So good. I don't know. At least one Star Wars movie. I'll throw Empire there, I guess. Throw Empire up there. Todd's fucking taking a deep breath. He's pissed.
No, I was only gonna get pissed if you said like the Last Jedi. I was gonna be like,
I mean, I love The Last Jedi. I don't care what anyone says. It's a great movie. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anything about anything. Is a great movie. I love that movie. I don't know. I'm nervous because like, do I say 3 Marvel movies? Because I'm about to. Like,
I'm waiting for it. I was expecting it.
I have one that you forget, and I probably think this is a movie that you really like, and it's in my top 3. Silver Linings Playbook.
That's a great movie. That's a great movie.
Yeah, I feel.
So I'll all right. So I'm at what am I at right now? I'm at Scott Pilgrim. I'm at Empire.
Empire Strikes Back.
And The Rock, you said. I think so.
No, I did not say The Rock. No, I did not say The Rock. I will definitely say Fellowship of the Ring. Fantastic film. Love that movie. Love all the Lord of the Rings movies. But after rewatching those recently, Fellowship is probably my number 1 easy.
Oh, it's so good.
It's just the best contained movie. Like, you can watch just Fellowship and be satisfied and be complete. But it also fits into the bigger picture if you want to watch everything. Such a good movie. And then, I mean, I don't know if it's really tough to kind of pin down my favorite Marvel movie. I don't know. I guess I'll say Infinity War. I don't know. I really like Infinity War. It's good. Paid off. It's a payoff. You can't replace that. Like, for me, like, I don't know. Endgame's good too, but like, you can't really mimic the payoff of a 10-year buildup in my mind. I don't know. 4th movie. I mean, I could easily throw another Marvel movie in there, but let me dig a little bit deeper. Silver Linings is good. No, you know what? I'll throw Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind in there. Get a little Ghibli in there. So there you go. There's my top 5 for right now, as of July 2021.
Literally one of the worst top 5s I ever heard.
It's not great, but that's fine. Somebody write it down.
There we go. There it is. Clip it. Then it's in the fucking ether. You got it forever. You can't. You got to hold me to my word. Those are the movies. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably throw like a non-nerd movie in there if I thought about it, but I don't feel like thinking about it right now.
It's supposed to be top 5. Come right to your head.
There they are.
That's perfect. Yep.
It could have just like been 5.
That's what I was looking for. It's just not great.
I honestly, in my top 10, I think I would possibly have, and this is, you guys are going to think I'm stupid for this, but Step Brothers might be in my top 10 because I've seen that movie so many fucking times. It's just, I can, every time that movie's on, I drop what I'm doing and just hone into that movie. And it's the fucking best movie.
Step Brothers is probably in my top 10, and Anchorman's probably in my top 10.
I used to love Anchorman. I'm sure I would. And Zoolander I used to love too.
I haven't watched it recently.
Zoolander's probably not in my top 10, but I also love it.
I haven't watched it recently, but I feel like Wedding Crashers could maybe be in my top 10. I haven't
seen that since that launched. Like,
I have seen it a lot, but I have not watched it recently, so I don't know if it still holds up. Like, if the jokes are cheesy now or whatever.
No, I'm sure it's still good.
There would definitely be comedies in my top 10 because I love to laugh. I don't know. I think Superbad holds up pretty well still. I think it's a good movie.
I think Pineapple Express would probably be in my top 15, maybe. I just love that movie so much.
I love
just because being a weed head, you know, like it's that movie just resonates.
That's fair.
I love the concept of This Is the End, and there's some really good parts of that movie. Yeah. I just wish it was a little bit different, and that might have been like one of my favorite movies. Just because I like that it's them playing them like a crazy version of themselves. It's so good. Michael Cera's fucking great. That movie?
I was just going to say
it works better as a sketch.
He was in that movie longer.
That's true.
That would have been that much better of a movie. They should have never killed off Michael Cera that early into that movie because he was so fucking good.
I think killing him off was
when he goes up to
he gets impaled.
When he goes up to McLovin, he's like, "What's that?" He gets up, and he just like blows the coke all over his face.
Oh
man, it's so good.
Seth Rogen was on. I don't know if it was the most recent or on a recent. Does he have a book that just came out, or is coming?
Yeah,
out?
he did yes, it's already out. I think
he was on the most a recent episode of Conan's podcast, and it was a good conversation. Apparently, that book he tells a lot of stories about like other celebrities that,
like Kanye and everything.
yeah, like he in the Conan interview, he was basically saying like, no, like a lot of these celebrities are gonna reach out to me not happy because he just tells.
Did you hear
stories.
the Nick Cage stories that he told
He
on
talks.
Howard Stern?
He
Were fucking like
Oh,
crazy.
he told it. I don't know if all of them are similar stories on the Conan podcast, and I was like, Jesus, fucking Nicolas Cage is a crazy person.
So I forget what movie Nicolas Cage
Believe
was.
it.
They were trying to get Nicolas Cage for one of the movies. I
Green
forget
Hornet.
what it was.
Green Hornet.
Green Hornet, and he wanted to be the bad guy in the movie. So they told him what the bad guy was going to be, and I guess Nicolas Cage showed up dressed as like a white Rastafarian dude, and they were all just like, "Yeah, that's cool, but that's not what we're doing." And I guess like he like was pissed after and ghosted them. And then when they did Pineapple Express, he called Seth Rogen because he thought that they were
Spring
stealing
Breakers.
his
Spring Breakers.
Spring Breakers. Yeah. Like they thought he was stealing like his idea that he gave them when he met with them as like a character. And I was just like, oh my god. And he got up at the dinner table. And he's like, oh, I got to take this call, and he just left and never came back. Like when they were out to eat with him.
Honorable mention number 6 in my top 10, The Room.
With Brie Larson.
With Brie Larson.
Yeah, no, isn't that called The Green Room?
No, I think it's called Room.
No.
Oh, Room.
It's just called Room. Green Room is the one with McAvoy, James McAvoy. There it is.
No, Green Room's not.
No. No. Green Room's.
No, it's Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, and the kid who died.
Yeah,
I knew it was Xavier.
Anyways, I don't know.
I should make you guys.
In
watch
Chekhov, right?
Yes, and he's the one who died. How he died is the most fucked up thing too. But
Yeah,
I should make Brenden watch that movie because like there's one scene in that movie that is so fucking disturbing, and the acting in it is so good. And it's not like no one dies in the scene or anything, but it's just really fucked up. And I feel like Brenden would be like, "Why would you make me watch this fucking movie after he like?"
What movie?
There's no way you.
I still have to watch Green Room.
Green Room.
I think about the conversation we had most recently about Midsummer. Like I think about that once in a while, and I'm like, why did I get like? Do I really just not want to watch that movie? Like, why did I get so animated about that to the point where it's like, it's just a movie. Like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I viewed it.
I know, but like when I'm in the act of watching the movie, I know I'm gonna fucking hate myself. I'm like, why am I doing this? But, anyways, does anyone else want to fucking rifle off their top 5 and fucking put me in their place or no?
Well, I mean, while we're here, we should get Mike's pick for fucking.
Well, yeah,
we're on movies.
Yeah, we're transitioning right into housekeeping. So housekeeping, first topic of business here is we're into July. So for July, the PTC Movie Club, it's Mike's pick. Mike, what do we got? What are we rolling with? What are you making us watch?
It better be fucking good.
Well, so
it better
like
be
I was saying.
Yes.
Like I was saying to Todd before, there was a movie that I felt like rewatching a while ago. And I was like, oh, maybe I could make that my pick. But I didn't see it streaming anywhere. And I knew I have it on DVD, but I was like, well, if I say
it doesn't have to be
watch.
streaming.
No,
it doesn't have to be
I don't
streaming,
know.
but I think it just makes things more convenient for some people. That being said, I looked it up the other day. I'm like, oh, it is streaming. It's on HBO Max now. Perfect. So I'm picking Black Dynamite.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm down with this.
Oh, I never saw that. Yeah, same. Yeah, definitely.
Have you seen it, Dom? Has anyone seen it?
Is that the Eddie Murphy movie?
I've watched it.
No, that's Dolomite's My Name.
So wait, what's Black Dynamite then? Why am I blanking on this?
It's the movie that. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, it's shit. What's the actor's name?
Michael Che White.
Yes.
Oh, Arsenio Hall's in it. I'm sold.
It's like it's a parody of blaxploitation film.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never saw this.
You haven't seen it yet, Mike, either?
I haven't seen it.
No, I've seen it.
Oh, you have seen it. Okay, cool. I'm
I've
excited.
seen it. I felt like rewatching it. I felt like rewatching it, and here we are.
Hell yeah, I love this pick. This is a good pick.
Mike, you went on HBO Max and you didn't pick the Bratz movie?
I didn't go. First of all, I did not go on HBO Max. I just Googled the movie, and it said that it was streaming on HBO Max, and I said, "Cool, this makes things easier." I did not peruse the HBO Max library.
I do want to.
So,
that being said, now that I know that it's there, I know what my next pick is.
I do want to hop into the Twitch chat. Sapphire Jade said, quote, "It better be good," says the guy who fucking picked Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, I mean, I've already told you that my movies are not going to be good. So.
Fuck, Mike's kind of fucking. Besides take Mission Impossible out of the mix, Mike's fucking swinging for the fences with his picks here because Sorry to Bother You was also good film. Mike's got some good picks.
surprised you even like Sorry to Bother You because of how the ending plays out, and I feel like that goes like down
I
a
pick
weird
very
my
safe
kind of.
movies.
So
It goes down like my kind of way of like what I like about movies, like
Mike,
weird shit. You know,
I would argue that Sorry to Bother You is not a safe pick. I would argue that. But I think the end of Sorry to Bother You was the worst part of the movie, only because I feel like it took a movie that was like so not grounded, but like much more grounded, and then it went like way the other way, and I was like, this is not how I expected this to go. It still like tells the cohesion of the story, like the full story. Like it's not like I think just going off on a tangent, but I wasn't expecting it to go in that type of fantasy direction, I guess. Anyways,
Yeah, no one expects the equestrians.
But fuck, all right, there we go. And if you haven't listened to last week's episode, or this is your first episode, we also are gonna, I don't know if this will always be a thing, but at least for the month of July, friend of the show, previous guest, Cameron Hawkins, also threw out The Wind Rises, which is also on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, you have access to both of the PTC Movie Club picks. And what I think we'll do, I think what makes the most sense is
solo episode dedicated to both of them.
Yeah, like we'll just do an episode that's about both movies together. I feel like that makes the most sense. If any of you don't want to watch The Wind Rises, that's fine. We can just record a Wind Rises episode separately. If like someone doesn't want to watch it, that's fine. I'm not gonna make you guys watch two fucking movies if you don't want to watch two movies. So we
all day long.
We can figure that out off the air. We don't have to hash out logistics here. But as of right now, as it stands at the beginning of the month, the last episode of this month, we'll talk about both Mike's pick, which is Black Dynamite, and then Cam's pick, which is The Wind Rises. So as of right now, those will be the picks for July's PTC Movie Club. Couple other things.
They made Black Dynamite into a Adult Swim show too, Mike.
Yeah, they did.
I did not know that. Couple of housekeeping things coming up on July 17th. I am hosting a PAX Online panel for PAX East at 6:15 p.m. on twitch.tv/PAX1. You can watch me and Cameron Hawkins, Alana Pierce from Sony Santa Monica, Tim Geddes from Kinda Funny, Grayson Morales from Game Rant, and Lily Zaldivar from 61 Indie talk about the top 10 indie games, the top 10 Nintendo games of all time. That will air again July 17th, 6:15, twitch.tv/PAX1. So look forward to that. I am also going to be a panelist on another panel during PAX East Online, but the person hosting it hasn't put that out into the ether yet, so I will not reveal that stuff until that person does. But I will share that out, so look for that on our social media when that is available. Last thing is Cam and I have been picking up where we left off with our Halo campaign playthroughs, so we are currently towards the end of Halo 2. You can look for probably more of that for us to finish Halo 2 next week, so tune in to twitch.tv/PassController to watch us play through Halo campaigns on Legendary. We're playing through all of the main campaigns up until the launch of Halo Infinite, so if you want to revisit Halo with us, feel free to tune in during the weeks that we revisit the Halo games. It's not really like a consistent, we have a set schedule for it. We kind of just are doing it as we can throughout the year leading up to Halo Infinite's launch, which is currently not a set in stone date. So
let me know when you get to Reach, because I want to replay Reach.
I think once we get to 3, it becomes a 4-player co-op if you want. So if you want to play through anything, let me know.
So it's funny because I've only played for Halos. I've only played 1 and 2 to its entirety. 3 I played halfway through, and like 4 I played a little bit of, but I haven't finished any of the other campaigns except for 1 and 2.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so if you want to hop in on those, we can make that happen. Also, I've never played through Halo on Legendary. It is not fucking easy. And
I'm sure.
It is Halo 2. So Halo 2 specifically has a special thing on Legendary where if one of you dies, you just have to restart at a checkpoint. Where in any other Halo game, if someone dies, you can like kind of wait until you're not in combat and then the other person will respawn. But Halo 2 is like, no, if someone dies, you both fucking die. And it makes it much, much more difficult because you die a lot in fucking Halo Legendary. Yes. Anyways, so that's what we get for housekeeping. So yeah, there's that. Before we get into the main topic of the evening, anyone playing anything they want to talk about that is new or exciting, or kind of just playing the same old shit?
I am playing a little game called Fortnite. Yeah, I feel
Fortnite.
like that's like all I've
I
been
thought
playing
you were
recently.
gonna drop the fucking Space Jam bomb on us.
Oh, no way. Don't play it. I mean, yeah, play it for easy achievements. That's about all I have to say about that game.
I got a quick 400 today in it.
That's what I'm saying. I got 375 today. Played it in like 45 minutes, not even.
All I did, Todd, you want to get that extra 25 that I got? Plug in a second controller and pass 30
I did
times.
What did you get that I didn't get then?
You just got to pass 30 times.
Yeah, I got that.
No, you got play. You got play with a friend. Just fucking keep pressing B back and forth 30 times, and you get a 25 achievement. So.
Hey Liam, get over here. I need you for like 5 minutes.
I just put two controllers up and just kept tapping B. It just automatically passes it. Anyways, anyone else? Anything they're playing? Anything new? Anything different?
No.
So that brings us
Mario Golf.
Have you been playing it, Tom?
Yeah, here and there.
So, all right. So
it's so good.
We'll table Mario Golf for this second because it will build into the bigger topic for the rest of the show, which is we're basically at the midpoint of the year, a little bit past the midpoint of the year. So I think it's a good time to kind of like check in and just think like, all right, up until this point, what are the games that we've played so far that are, like the best games of the year for us personally, and then kind of looking forward to what else is coming out this year that we know about that we're excited for that could potentially end up being things that are the things we're the most excited about that we've played this year. So I guess we can just kick it off with Mario Golf because I know at least 3 of us have played that game. So how are you feeling about Mario Golf, Tom?
I'm enjoying it. I hope that they add DLC. I feel like they have already said that they are going to.
Yeah, they announced that there will be free content that comes out over a span of time. I don't know if that's been a defined span of time,
but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Have you been?
I haven't played online with you guys yet.
Have you just been playing the like golf adventure mode, or just playing golf?
I've just been golfing, like just going through 18 holes.
Yeah.
Yo, isn't it crazy how long that takes? It's like legit almost playing a real round of 18 holes because last night took us 2.5 hours. I don't know how long it took around like 2.5 hours last night.
I think if you want to play a little bit quicker, you can have everyone golf at once.
We should probably do that. I feel like that's like that way you don't have to fucking.
So the only thing with that is that like I like both ways of it because I feel like when you do like taking turns, it kind of, I don't know, like crack a fucking beer, like having a good time. It feels like I'm golfing. Where if like where everyone was just going at the same time, I think I would feel rushed if I was like the last person or like second to last person, and I wouldn't be having as much fun. I don't know. I think it's fun to watch other people's strokes and see them fuck up. Todd's thinking about vinegar strokes right now, so. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what you guys have played for stuff that has come out this year, and I guess we can kind of build it our own way if you want to just say things that came out previously that didn't come out launch this year. That can be part of the conversation too. We don't have to conform to some other people's metrics. We can kind of just be, what are the games that we're playing that are the most impactful for us in the year of 2021? If that's a game that came out fucking 10 years ago, it doesn't fucking matter. You're playing it now. There's a reason why. I guess I'll kind of kick it off with stuff that has come out this year, because I think between Todd and I, the two of us have probably played the most things that have come out launched this year. I'll just run through a list of some of the more major titles that have come out. The Medium, which I personally didn't care for. Not that I expected to care for that game, but I did play through it. Is that in the running for you currently, Todd? The Medium? Is that like a top game for you? No.
No.
I'm surprised. I feel like you enjoyed it back then.
I had a glitch in that game pretty close to the end where I couldn't finish it. I didn't know if I needed to like restart over or something, and I just was like, "Fuck this! I'm not dealing with this." But a game like that is usually my style. But there needs to be some form of like combat for me to like really
Yeah,
get into a game like that.
I get that.
And I don't think that game needed combat because I don't think it works in that game.
Hmm.
But yeah, I knew when I found out there wasn't going to be combat in that game, I was still excited for it. But at the same time, I was like, you know,
Yeah. Other games that came out that early in the year for me, I'm wearing a Cyber Shadow shirt right now. Cyber Shadow is like such a not disappointing game for me. I was just so excited for that game. I loved what I played at PAX East 2 years ago. We gave it Game of the Show that year that it was at PAX East. It's still a game that I loved and I really enjoyed. It'll probably make my personal like top 10 somewhere at the end of the year. But it was a game that like I was expecting and hoping it to be like, this is a 10 out of 10 smash. I'm so excited for this. And it kind of didn't live up to what my high expectations for it were. And that might just be my own fault for like putting this on a pedestal before this was a game that came out. There's still a lot to love there. I really liked it. Did you play it, Dom? Did you have a chance to play through Cyber Shadow or not yet?
I like barely got into it. I played a
yeah,
little bit.
I couldn't get into it. I wasn't a fan of it at all. I think Messenger is way better, and I'm not even a huge fan of Messenger, but I think like everything that Messenger did, they did better than what Cyber Shadow did.
Oh, I mean, yeah, if I have to stack those two games up against each other, which I wouldn't actually compare those two games because I like Cyber Shadow is a much more linear game. Like it is a you are playing from level to level. You're not really backtracking at all. But I mean, I still enjoyed it. I still love Cyber Shadow. It's still a great game. It has fantastic music. It has good art. I think there are a couple of difficulty spikes on certain boss fights that were a little, I personally think, too challenging. But I mean, some people might differ. That's obviously like a preference thing, skills thing. But that's another big game that came out. Scrolling through kind of the list, January, those are probably the bigger things. If someone has something to interject with, please feel free. But as we go along, I mean, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury came out this year, which, I mean, it's hard to kind of put these types of games into the same conversation because 3D World is a game that was out already. For me, that's a 10 out of 10 game. It's one of the best Mario games. I think it's one of the best platforms of all time. So it's kind of hard to put that in the same conversation as a brand new game. But it also did have Bowser's Fury, which I feel like, I mean, obviously it's a brand new experience. And I actually really enjoyed what I played on Bowser's Fury. So like that's a top game for me. If that's like,
I wasn't a fan of Bowser's Fury.
oh, I'm surprised
I
by
don't
that.
like it.
But I feel like
See,
you don't
like,
really like 3D Marios though.
Yeah, you know what? I there hasn't been one that really like resonates with me.
Like Sunshine is probably the only 3D Mario game you like.
Yeah, probably. I mean, 64 back in the day. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'd want to play it now, but like back in the day, I did enjoy 64. But
after revisiting 64 last year when the All-Star Collection came out, I'll say once you kind of put your brain in the mindset of
it's an old game,
and like dealing with the controls and the camera really is the problem. Once you kind of like frame your experience around that, I actually was very, very impressed with how much Mario 64, in my opinion, holds up in this day and age as like a good platformer. Once you, again, grapple with, it's a product of its time, especially with the camera. And once you learn to kind of deal with that, I think it still holds up very well.
Like something about Bowser's Fury, like I loved the transition of music.
That was one of my favorite things. I love that about it.
Yeah, I think that's like the best part of that game. I don't know what I didn't like. I don't know. It just felt bland to me. The same way, like, I know I get shit for this all the time, but Mario Odyssey, the level design felt bland to me in that game. Like, it just didn't really do much.
I'm not with you on the Mario Odyssey thing.
No one is. I'm like way alone in that.
I can understand your criticism of Bowser's Fury because I don't think it's necessarily like a far-fetched opinion to have. I honestly think that Bowser's Fury was them testing the waters to see if the next Mario game could be what Bowser's Fury was. Because I think the next main Mario game is going to be very, very, very much like Bowser's Fury, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you have a chance to play through Bowser's Fury, Dom, or no?
I got into, again, I started it, but didn't get super into it.
Yeah. Did you end up getting it, Mike? I can't remember.
Nope.
Did you like 3D World, though, when we played on the Wii U, Mike, or no?
I believe I did.
Yeah.
I think I
Like,
had. I think
that's
I
the
had
game
fun.
where you can be a kitty.
I'm a cat. Meow.
When that game came out on the Wii U, me, Mike, and Dom, and my brother Shane played that almost that whole game in co-op, and it was one of like that falls in line for me personally with like me playing Halo 1 and 2 LAN co-op, LAN like Slayer matches with my friends. Like that's like a top tier gaming memory for me, is like playing co-op 3D World, because
It's so funny you say that, because I talked about that on a podcast recently. But like when me, Amanda, and Liam played it together, we were fucking hysterically laughing and had like one of the best times ever.
it is such a good, like, it is such a good co-op game. It is like the perfect representation of how a co-op Mario game can be.
Good work. Yep, absolutely.
And like there was this whole, like, I can see playing with your family might be a little bit different from how like me, Mike, Dom, and my brother were playing, because we were playing it on a little bit more of a competitive standpoint, where like
Whoever crown.
whoever had the crown, like we would be like attacking the person with the crown, and like you wanted to have the crown. That was like a little meta game we were playing while we were playing the game, and it was very, very fucking enjoyable. Like whoever won the level first got the crown, but you could also kill that person and the crown would fall off, and you could take the crown and wear it and finish the level with the crown. So there's like a lot of like meta
I love that you
gameplay
can
happening.
Pick someone up and throw them off the side.
Yes,
of the map,
yeah.
you know? Like,
There was a lot of fun with that. Like it was a very, very smart implementation of a meaningless thing with the crown, because I don't think it did anything. Maybe it gave you a higher score. I have no fucking idea if it actually did anything meaningful, but it was like enough of a carrot on a stick that like we all ate it up and we were fighting for the crown, because like who doesn't want bragging rights? Anyways, so there's that. I know Little Nightmares 2, Todd, for you. I don't know if that's something.
That's up there for me. And that game caught me off guard because I got the first one for Switch. Didn't play much of it, and I was kind of like, yeah, this is cool, but whatever. And that was like I think one of the first games I beat in 2021, and I fucking loved it. I loved the gameplay, the story, everything about it. Like I didn't want to put that game down. It was definitely a game that I saw some people mentioning things about it on Twitter, and I'm like, maybe I should get this. And then that was probably the best choice ever, because like, yeah, that'll probably be in my like top 10 definitely for the year, 100%. I thought that was. I didn't know if Mike had like a
Filter on.
A filter on right now. I was like very confused.
This is actually the first.
Real cat.
I think this is the first episode, which I don't want it to change. Say this way, but this is the first episode that Mike has not used a filter, and I'm very happy about this.
Fucked it up.
No, he did. He did use a filter.
I did use a filter earlier, and just a quick update on that front. Long story short, during Prime Day, I bought a new router, and this router sucks. And it will occasionally just drop my internet connection. So I can't use the filter because it thinks that I do not have internet connection, which may be indicative of something currently actually happening. But, well, we'll deal with it later.
I love that your cat just now, like, headbutted the microphone. Like, I want to talk about my game in the air. What do you don't want the cat to have the floor, Mike?
Oh, he heard us talking about Mario, and he's like, "Yo,
No,
let me just tell you about the cat powers in that game."
No, he's very upset that Shantae got regulated to being just a Mii fighter in Smash, and that's what he wants to talk about.
Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, this week, fucking Kazuya's in fucking Smash now. You guys want to play Smash? Let me know. I'm down. I'm down to fucking play. I'm not gonna use Kazuya ever, but
I tried.
Still haven't downloaded the Battle Pass.
Fighter Pass.
You can buy
Battle Pass.
Kazuya a la carte for like $4, $5 or something, if you don't want the rest of the fighters.
It's not gonna happen. I'm just gonna buy the Fighter Pass, Battle Pass.
Battle Pass. Jesse Jesse in the chat is throwing out front of the show. Jesse Vitelli, check him out. Prima Games, killing it as always. He threw out Hitman 3, which is a game I not played. Did you play that, Todd?
I played Hitman, so I was playing the Hitman series leading into that, but I'm that weirdo that fucking doesn't want to play Hitman the way they want you to play it. I want to go guns blazing, and I feel like I guess you can kind of do this, but you can't really do it the way you used to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get bored, fucking, and I'm not like clever enough to figure out ways to do that. So
Yeah.
I beat the first game, and then I was like, do I even want to play the second one? I'm like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
but the third one sounded cool because they had that mission based on like Knives Out kind of thing, and in like the murder mystery and the apartment and the big like old house, and certain things look cool to me on that. But maybe I'll play it one day when it goes on sale.
Yeah. I don't know if Hitman's a game for me, but like I don't know what I'm basing this off of, but I feel like Hitman is a game Dom would enjoy. I don't know why I'm like throwing this out there, but I feel like it's a game Dom would enjoy.
I think I played the first one.
I've never really played a Hitman game. I may have like touched a Hitman game at some point, but I never really played a Hitman game.
We saw the movie.
There's a movie.
Which one? Because there's two
there's a
or
couple.
three,
Yeah,
I think.
but I saw the first one, I think.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Right, we saw it in theaters, Mike.
I don't think I do not think I saw any of the Hitman movies in theaters.
Really? I'm pretty sure I saw the first one in
Are
theaters.
they
I thought
good
it was with you.
movies?
No.
No.
No one said they were good. They exist.
Jesse said
And
one has
then-
Timothy Oliphant in
Tim
it.
Oliphant, yeah, and he does,
Yeah.
he looks really weird with a shaved head too. He's just like,
I think that's the more recent
most
one, is it
recent-
not?
No, I think the most recent one was Agent 47 was the name of the
yes.
movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was a thing. Maybe I did know this was a thing, but it definitely left my brain. Kind of scrolling through other things that came out so we don't miss stuff. I mean, for me currently, like my current game of the year, which will definitely
Space Jam.
change as the rest of the game, as the year goes on, is Space Jam, of course.
It's
No,
gotta be Space Jam.
my current game of the year is probably Monster Hunter Rise, just because I don't think there's been another game that has given me. Here's where we're at. Mario 3D World would be my game of the year. Mass Effect Legendary Collection would be my game of the year, but it's kind of hard for me personally to look at those games that are not new games and call them my game of the year. So those can't be, in my opinion, just based off of my own headcanon.
I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to Mass Effect.
You're
I don't know.
crazy. You're crazy, Todd.
When I played the first game to finish.
You finished the first game and you're on the second game?
Yeah. I want a second
Please
game, yeah.
play the second game. If you play the second game and don't want to finish and play the third game, cool. Just play the second game, because the second game is, in my
I'll get to
opinion,
it at some point.
one of the best games ever made. It's so fucking good.
I have no connection to any of those characters. They're just boring to me.
Yeah,
I find them very...
one is what it is. 2 is a much more like, if you don't care about the people after you play 2,
Then I should stop playing.
then sure, stop playing. But like 2 is everything 1 does way better. It's just 2 is the best game in the series, in my opinion. Some people go to bat for 3. I don't blame them for that. 3 does a lot of great things, but like 2 has some of my favorite characters, like Thane. We'll stop there. I don't want to go into too much detail. But for me personally, I couldn't put like Mass Effect Legendary Collection. Sure, that's in my top 10 right now because it's a game that I love and it's a game that I'm replaying. That's quote unquote brand new. 3D World as well. But for me, Monster Hunter Rise is probably my current game of the year, which I expect to change by the end of the year. But the game's so good. It does what World does, but in my opinion, better. It takes things and streamlines them more. It makes things more fluid. It makes the gameplay a lot quicker. Like riding your Palamute makes things a lot more just quicker. It makes traversing that world quicker. A lot of the boss fights are fun. I don't love the whatever the fucking mode it is, Todd, where you're like, it's like tower defense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's fine. It's just easy to get items in there. But it's like
I don't
once you figure out how that mode works, it's like it's not even a challenge really. It's kind of just like whatever.
Yeah, it's just whatever. Like I don't care for that. But like everything else about that game I've loved. Like I still will I'll hop back into that from time to time, and I'll definitely hop back into that with you again. But like do I see myself going to Hunter rank 100 and killing those like bosses that got added for Hunter rank 100? Probably not, but I do.
Oh yes, I'm at like 60, I think, right now, and I haven't played it in like 2 weeks. But It's the most I've ever put in. I think I got like 150 hours on that game.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like my game of the year. It's like it's in the talks of like my top 3 of the games.
Yeah.
The games of the year.
Yeah, for you, I think that'll end up in the top 3 for sure. Whether it's the number
Yeah.
1 or not, I don't think it will end up being your number 1, but I think it'll be in your top 3. It'll probably be in my top 3 too, potentially. I mean, it's a great game. I love that game. I think it is a further step in like making Monster Hunter a more approachable series for more people.
It basically solved all the issues I had with the previous game.
With World, yeah.
That made me,
yeah.
It's so like, and I don't know if a lot of the hardcore fans are digging it, but for me, I think it's like a perfect game now. It's like I don't want to track. I don't want to run around a map
Same.
and like
I'm in the same boat
I
with
just
you.
don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you.
I get how people might like that, but like I just like get to the fucking point. Let me go fight a monster. Let me get out. Let me go fight another monster. Like, you know, it's very streamlined. It has a lot of quality of life changes that I think just make it a better game in general than most of the other Monster Hunter games.
Yeah.
Even though people live by Iceborne.
Before I go on to, I guess for me, probably the next 2 games that would probably round up what are my quote unquote top games of the year. Again, which I fully expect my list by the end of the year to not include most of these games. Mike, where are you at with like, regardless of whether the game came out this year or not? Like, what are you considering your, you know, current games of the year? Things that you're playing, whether they're new or not, like things that are taking Mike's time up in Mike's brain space.
Okay, let's do a quick rundown of the games that I have been playing this year. So I've clearly been playing Fortnite. Okay, establish that. And that game's been out for like 3 years. Been playing. I will play Overwatch for getting loot boxes that I don't open. No, I haven't played it in a while.
Summer event hits. I'm fully back in, because not only summer event have arguably the best bonus mode, which is Lucio Ball, but
I heard they fucked up Lucio Ball last year though, and it wasn't good.
Wait, they changed Lucio Ball?
Yeah, like they made it so you had to like, they had like these platforms in the middle of the map and everything that you had to like bank shots off.
There's fucking platforms in Lucio Ball now?
Like they did stuff where they put like, I don't know. I just remember people bitching about Lucio Ball that it wasn't as good.
Interesting.
I didn't even play it last year, which is crazy to me. I never played the summer games last year.
I mean, I'm not surprised. You're in the part of the divorce with Overwatch for you personally, where like you don't ever want to speak to Overwatch again. But there will be a point.
I don't miss it either. Yeah.
But there will be a point where like you're still divorced from Overwatch. You'll probably never love it the same. I hope you do. But you'll probably never love it the same. But there will be a point where it's like, yeah, no, I'm friends with Overwatch again. But like, you know, I never get back together with Overwatch. That's where Todd is at. He's in the state before that.
I mean, I played it so much that I kind of like burnt myself out of it. That's like a huge part of it too, though. You know, like I played that game. That's hands down the most I've ever played any game in my life, and it's like months worth of time, which is fucking. If you really think about it, it's fucking insane. It's probably like over 3 months worth of gaming time with Overwatch.
Yeah,
that's 3 months of my life that I spent playing a fucking game, which is like there's no other game I've ever done that with ever.
Yeah, which is why I am still confused. Last year, when we did our games of the decade, and 2 years ago, whatever that was, when we did our games of the decade episode, and you vehemently argued against Overwatch being mentioned because there might not be a game that you've spent more time in than Overwatch.
I know, and it's so weird because like I think I played that game for like a solid 3 years. Like I legit like hated every second I had with it, but I still had to play it. I don't know why.
I get it. I mean, that's a thing that like people that play certain games kind of get in that mode. Like there are people that play, you know, Valorant, League of Legends, Dota, whatever, that like Overwatch, obviously, CS:GO, that like they fucking play the shit out of it. It's like I fucking hate my time, but I'm gonna play this game.
Like I'm literally yelling at people. People are messaging me. I'm messaging people back. I'm like, why am I doing this? All right, let's play for 3 more hours.
Yeah, I'm so happy that's not my relationship with Overwatch. Like, I'm so happy that's not my relationship.
Solo queue is like a nightmare. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what we're talking about Overwatch. What I was saying was crossplays here now. When the Summer Games event comes back, if any of you want to play, I have a group of people that play Overwatch weekly, so we can play with them. They don't play ranked, but
I would prefer not to play. I would be cool with playing quick play. Like I think like when we played with Jesse recently, all I wanted to play, like Jesse wasn't 25 on Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to play
Yeah.
quick play. I don't
Well,
want to play ranked.
that's the thing. So the group that I'm talking about is a group that Jesse introduced me to. Jesse, they mainly don't really play ranked. They pretty much just play quick play.
Best way to play that game and
which
not get mad at it.
I am also like within the last year, like I'll play ranked. I'd prefer to play ranked, but because I also don't care about my rank. Like I want to win, obviously, but like I don't care at the same time. Like I'm not gonna be mad if we're losing all night, but within the last year and a half, I find a lot of enjoyment playing quick play too, because quick play allows me to like fuck around with new characters and like learn
That's why I
characters
like it so much.
that I never really played with before, and then realize like, oh shit, I like Echo actually.
Right.
But anyways, Mike, so you were saying.
Oh yeah, I was just working back for the games that I've been playing this year. So we got those two. Beat Saber every once in a while. I haven't turned on my headset in a while.
So you haven't played the Interscope mixtape still?
No, because I still have to uninstall the game and then
To fix
reinstall
it,
for me to download it. Yeah.
So I was working out in Beat Saber again today on going for a quick tangent. The two of the songs on that, first of all, playing fucking whatever that Limp Bizkit song is, what is it called?
I don't know. I have the Limp Bizkit pack, but I don't think you're talking about that.
No,
So
you're thinking of Linkin Park.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Limp Bizkit is in the
thing.
Interscope pack. I think it's Keep Rollin'. I don't know if the song's called Rollin'.
Oh, is that hands up and hands down?
Yeah, I don't know if that's what the song is called. What is that song called?
Rolling. It's called called that.
Yeah, it's just called Roll.
That is a very because I play on expert with the tempo turned up. That is way too fucking fast. But as much as I don't really love this Gwen Stefani song, the song with Akon, Sweet Escape. Yes, that song. It's not my favorite Gwen Stefani song, but it's a good like Beat Saber song. And then Kendrick Lamar DNA is also part of that pack, and it's a good beat map. Like it's a very good song. You should get into it soon, Mike, because there's some enjoyable beat maps there.
The TikToks I send you of that girl who does that, I'm just like literally in awe, and I'm like, how does she fucking do this? Like,
I am like, so Mike is better than me at Beat Saber. I play expert with the tempo turned up, and I'm good at most songs, but I'm not quite at the level of being able to like go expert plus and fucking play balls to the wall. But I don't know. It's crazy. Anyways, so Mike, what would you be your game of the year currently?
Ready Fortnite.
Is it Fortnite or is it something with a bunny and a baller?
I don't understand what that's supposed to mean.
A bunny and a baller? What do you think that means?
We're gonna
what do you think it means?
I don't know. I'm so confused by it because it took me off guard. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's say it's Space Jam. I don't give a shit. I haven't played it yet. It's fine. It's downloaded.
Mike will be your game of the year.
Mike was saying before the show came on, he wants that to be his game of the year, but he hasn't played it yet. But he plans on streaming through that game, which is not a long game. I beat it today in about 38 minutes, so you can probably finish that in one night, Mike.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ball in Wonderland. I should get that game. What's it on?
Everything.
Perfect.
It's bad, from what I understand.
I know. I've seen clips.
It would be a good game to stream through, Mike. It'd be a good game to stream through.
No, it's a better version of Mario Odyssey, basically, is what I've read about it.
You know what though? I think Dom agrees with you that he does not like Mario Odyssey.
It was fine.
I don't think it's fine. That's basically. I don't think it's a horrible game. I just think it's fine.
The thing is Todd thinks that Mario Sunshine is the best Mario 3D Mario game, and I mean, no.
I guess, yeah. No, I get it. I get why you wouldn't like. I get why people wouldn't like it. I gotta be that guy.
But I guess realistically, Mike, your game of the year currently is probably Fortnite.
Yeah, if it has to be a new game, then I guess it would be Persona Strikers, but I also didn't beat that game.
Yeah. Do you think you'll finish this year or no?
I forgot it existed until you had mentioned it earlier.
I also kind of left my brain, but it is a game I'll get back to at some point this year. I was super excited for it, but I think I needed a wider gap between me finishing Royal and starting Strikers, if that makes sense. I needed some time away from Persona. But I mean, I don't hate that. Like, I mean, it's not like Fortnite is a game that isn't constantly being updated and changed and worked on. Like, it's not like they're not adding new shit to that game.
And to be clear, I only play Fortnite when you guys are playing Fortnite. Oh, look, my shit came back on. I didn't even do anything. Like, my computer just decided I had internet again.
It's fucking high noon somewhere in the world. It's gone now.
I turned it off because I didn't expect it to turn back on. I was confused. What was I saying just now? Oh yeah, I play Fortnite because you guys are playing Fortnite.
But it's a good time. It's a
good time.
We have a blast. We play for family. You know what I'm saying? Dom, what about you? Anything new this year, or just stuff that is old that you're enjoying the most? Like, what is currently your stuff? Like, what if you had to, like, right now say currently my favorite game of this year, whether it came out this year or not, what is the thing that is occupying your brain?
I've spent the most time this year in Fortnite, probably.
Okay.
Games this year that I've played are, like, new this year are Mario Golf and Super Meat Boy, probably.
Oh, okay. So you played Super Meat Boy forever?
I did.
How do you feel about that? Because I haven't picked it up yet.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's not.
Pretty much all I've heard about it.
It's not the same as the other games. It's just as hard as the other games, but it's an
endless runner.
It's like yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Oh really?
Or it's like a persistent runner. You're always moving forward.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
And I think it's procedurally generated. I believe. I can't remember if it's procedurally generated or not. Like, every level is made up kind of on the spot. I
don't think so.
Oh, I thought it was procedurally generated. Maybe not. But regardless, it is a persistent running game. So you're always moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll get to that at some point. So Mario Golf is, like, currently in my top games of the year. Mario Golf is there. Will it remain there? I don't know. If I continue to play it with friends for a remainder of the year, then it will probably make my top 10 personally for the year. I don't think it's a perfect game. I think the single player campaign, the golf adventure mode I think it has a lot of really good ideas, but I think it doesn't really lock in to enough, or lock into in my opinion, the right ideas. Like, it's a lot of the cross country golf and more of the speed golf, which I don't think is the best thing in the game. So it's a lot of that, and I don't really love it. So it kind of makes that part whatever. But I've had a lot of nights with Todd, with Jesse, with a few other people, where we've played like a round of 18, and it's a couple hours having a good time, like playing the game. Like, it is a good time. It's definitely something that I'm having a good time with. I don't regret my purchase. It's a game I'd feel weird about recommending to somebody. Like, I wouldn't necessarily tell someone to buy that game.
I would only tell them to buy it if they're going to play it online and play with friends. Like, yeah, that's the only way I would tell someone to buy a game.
I think the only way I would tell someone to buy that game is you have to know what you're getting yourself into, and that has to be what you want. Like, if you want to play a
Mario sports game
with your friends, you will probably enjoy it. If you are looking for, like, a good single player golf game, it might not be the best choice. There are probably better choices for you out there.
It's a party game. It's a Mario party game.
Absolutely, 100%.
As opposed to Mario Party.
Yeah, and like, it's not bad. Like, I don't think it's a bad game. I'd probably, if I had to throw a number on it, I'd probably say it's like a 7, which I don't think is bad. I think that's it's a fine game. It probably would score a little bit higher if it had more modes, maybe a little more courses. But I know those things are coming down the pipeline. So take that for what you will. It's a game that's going to get free updates over time. So waiting might not be the worst thing in the world. I'll throw.
You get to be a fucking absolutely dapper fucking Waluigi.
That's true. Is that who you're using, Dom? Waluigi?
Hmm?
I'm using
rocking the plaid pants.
I'm using Rosalina, which is weird for me because I would never pick Rosalina in literally any game, but for some reason I'm just vibing with Rosalina, and I like her. I like how she does not hold the golf club. She uses her wand to hold the golf club, and I like that for some reason. I'll throw Outriders out there. Again, a game I don't anticipate me talking about at the end of the year. I'd also probably call that a solid 7. But, and that's a game, honestly, I probably wouldn't have purchased. But it was on Game Pass, and I played through the whole game, and I enjoyed my time with it. Kind of in the same vein as Mario Golf, another game that's probably currently in my top 10 favorite games of the year so far is New Pokemon Snap, but that's another game that I wouldn't recommend to anybody and probably won't be in my top 10 at the end of the year. It's just a very specific game of, if you want more of what that Nintendo 64 game was, you will probably find some enjoyment there. Is it a good game? I don't know. Probably not. It's again, I'd probably call that like a 7. I enjoyed my time with it. I don't regret buying that game. I think there's some issues with that game. I hated the Illumina Pokemon stuff. Those levels were terrible to me. I thought they completely ruined the flow of the game. I didn't necessarily love the progression of the game, where you had to continually play over the levels over and over again to grow, but I also understand why the game was kind of built that way. But overall, I enjoyed my time with it, and it was a pleasant experience, and I don't regret purchasing it at all. I think that's kind of...
I just don't want to spend $60 on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would put Pokemon Snap and Mario Golf in this same category of, I personally really enjoyed my time with them. I have a hard time putting my stamp on it of, I recommend this. Go spend $60 on it. I don't think so. I just don't think that those are necessarily games that everyone's going to enjoy. If you know what you're getting yourself into and that's the experience you want, then maybe you'll enjoy it. But I don't know. I don't expect Mario Golf or Pokemon Snap to be in my top 10 by the end of the year. But that's just me. Who knows? I know you have some other games throughout there, Todd. So what would be your current game of the year? I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Monster Hunter Rise is up there.
I thought
Returnal.
I thought it was gonna be Returnal.
Yeah, no, I mean, like it's back and forth. Here's the problem. Like, I've done a lot in Monster Hunter Rise and Returnal. I haven't beat the second boss, and it's still probably in my contender for game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to like look into the story online, but I also want to beat. My goal is to beat that game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to eventually do that. I just jump around from too many games, but another game I haven't mentioned is Chivalry's definitely in my top game of the year right now.
I kind of forgot all about Chivalry. That's a fantastic
game. That's 100% in my talks because it's unlike anything I've ever played, and it's just really fucking fun.
I
mean, will it be my game of the year? It won't probably, but it's definitely in my talks for game of the year.
I feel like that could easily end up making my top 10. Like that's a game that I thoroughly am enjoying my time with. Like, I have no.
If we got like a crew of people to buy that game too, that game could have a lot of potential to just be like, really fun gaming nights, and
yeah, for sure. I mean, we already have 5 people that have it.
5. Oh yeah, no, I forgot. Yeah, because it's crossplay. Yeah.
I mean, well, with crossplay, I have some other people that can join us, so we have like up to 7 or 8 easily. But
the only other game. Oh no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I can see Chivalry 100% making my end of the year.
Yeah. Resident Evil 8 was great. That's definitely not going to be my game of the year, but I definitely enjoyed Resident Evil 8.
Keep going. I'll be right back.
And the other thing is Guilty Gear Strive. I'm enjoying that because I like to play fighting games super aggressive, and that game basically rewards you for being super aggressive. So it's like me just being Ken 90% of the time, fucking bashing people's heads in. What do you think, Mike?
Wasn't listening.
I knew you were. I was like watching you stare over at the screen. I'm like,
just reading some other things.
I didn't play Knockout City. What were your thoughts on it? No,
I was
Nothing.
impartial. It was fun to play with friends, but like I felt like after I played it for like 2 or 3 hours, I played the game. I feel like once you get to the point where you start playing with people of your talent or rank in that game, you're literally just throwing a ball, catching it, throwing a ball, catching it. But you're basically just like waiting to catch someone off guard. And I called that like when that game came out that people are going to be done with that game in 2 or 3 weeks, and fucking people were done with that game in 2 or 3 weeks. I haven't seen
Yeah,
anyone fucking.
it doesn't feel like anybody talked about it
No.
recently at all.
Yeah, no one's like people were raving about it the first like 2 weeks, and then it just fucking dropped off. I would love to know how many fucking people still play that game right now, because I'm sure there's a good amount. It's on Game Pass too, so I mean,
It did look like fun. I just never got around to playing it.
Yeah.
What game?
Knockout City, because they were asking like where that would be for me, and I said that I was saying what we were saying the other night. How like after 3 weeks, everyone's gonna be done with that game, and I haven't heard anyone talk about it.
Knockout City is fantastic. I could definitely see myself playing that a little bit more throughout the year. Will it make my top 10? Who knows? But it is a great game, and like I definitely wouldn't question somebody who had that on their top list by the end of the year, because it is a good game. Like it has good bones. Like it's very fun. But I think that just kind of falls into a larger conversation of persistent games, like games that have a ongoing, like they don't have an end.
I don't think there's enough content. I don't think there was enough content with Knockout City either. Like there's just not enough there. It's free, so I don't give a fuck. It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I mean, there's that part of it, but also like I feel like the core gameplay, like the core loop of like playing that game and playing those matches is fun enough where like if someone hit me up and was like, hey, you want to play this? Like if I wasn't doing anything else, I'd probably hop in and play. Like it's not a question. Jesse said on stream, Knockout City currently has about 1,000 people playing. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't really know what that gauge is. Probably not the best, but it is what it is. I think the last thing that I would probably throw out there into the ether is, I feel like there was another game I wanted to mention before we wrapped up, and now I am losing my marbles.
I didn't play It Takes Two.
So I played some with my wife, and me and Brenden played some, and I think that game is definitely like I enjoyed my time with it. I just like it's one of those things where I can't play it on my own, so you have to like line up with people. You have to play with somebody else. Yeah, like, you have to like you can't fucking lock in with someone online, maybe in match make.
You could play with Todd though, because it has a free friend pass, so like you can just like download it and play with Todd because he owns it.
Yeah, and it's one of those games where like I feel like platformers a lot of the time don't win me over, and the platforming in that game is fucking great. The controls are great. Everything about that game is really good. It just comes down to finding that right time of when I can like align with someone, and that to me that kind of sucks. But I get what they're doing, because I've always been that guy that like I want to play a lot of those couch co-op games, but I fucking can't because I don't ever have people over. So it's like a lot of these games like I can't do much with these games, but I want to play them.
Yeah. The last game that if anyone else has anything I want to throw out, obviously feel free to do so. But the last game that I wanted to bring up that I think could potentially make my top 10 by the end of the year is Forever Bowl. I think that is like such a great VR game.
Yeah, I still play it a lot of the time.
It is such a good bowling game, and I think that especially with the newest update that kind of fixes a lot of the problems we had with the game.
Honestly, that update, like I can't even say like because everything in that update is what we bitched about, even though we still love the game.
Yeah.
But like now with YouTube, like I go to the jukebox and I pick like reggae, rap, whatever, and it just plays, and I'm like, so now like all different songs play, and I don't have to like deal with like the same 3 songs playing on instant loop. And,
so that's like how the golf game that I'm trying to get you to buy functions. It has YouTube implemented into it, so you can just like play what you want to play, and it makes it a much better experience.
Absolutely.
I will say. But yeah, Forever Bowl VR is very fun.
Oh, I did bowl a 260 the other day, by the way,
Jesus.
Joe, which is hands down the best I've ever bowled in that game.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy numbers. I've never bowled that high in that game.
I was drunk and I was fucking on fire, like literally like sprawling across my room, like, and I'm like, all right, keep on going, like whenever you're on that tear in that game, like I like try not to change anything, and it's good. That's a great game though.
But before we wrap things up, since this is kind of our midpoint temperature check, where are we at with games we've played, whether they're new or old, what's kind of like holding our attention, in 2021, we've kind of all kind of put it out there. I think for me and Todd, we're both kind of hovering around Monster Hunter Rise. I think Mike is kind of stuck on Fortnite at the moment. I don't know if Dom would say Fortnite or Mario Golf, but probably between those two.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on our definition of what game of the year is, I guess.
I think for as far as past the controller is concerned,
it doesn't matter because I know my game of the year hasn't come out yet. So
yeah,
What's game?
I don't know. I'm sure Metroid's going to be up there.
Yeah. Well, so that's what we'll get to in just a second.
It also depends on what else comes out by the end of the year.
So hold that specific conversation for just a second, because I think that'll be kind of how we close this out. But for me, I think as we are concerned, the four of us as past the controller, I think going forward for now, game of the year for us should be determined in what we think is the game of the year that either came out in this year, or again, something like Fortnite. It didn't like, so here's why I want to draw the distinction. I don't want to say something like Overwatch is our game of the year if it's not a game that we're currently playing and want to go to bat for. But like if Fortnite is a game that you're playing currently and it's a game you want to go to bat for, I'm fine with that being a part of the conversation, because it's a living game. You're actively playing it, and there's reason to make it a part of the conversation. But I don't want to just be like, yeah, Ocarina of Time's the game of the year because that's the best game ever made. Like, I think that's kind of silly. But if it's a game you're actively playing, or if it's an old game that you played for the first time this year and you want to make a case for it, I mean, fuck it, whatever. We're not emboldened to someone else's rules. This is our own thing. We can do whatever the fuck we want. But yeah, as far as the rest of the year goes, I fully expect my top 10 to shave off a lot of the stuff that's come out this year already. I think Monster Hunter Rise will probably still stay on there. But just looking at stuff that's coming out this year, stuff that we're expecting this year, and this doesn't obviously include things we don't know about, but Halo Infinite, I expect to be somewhere in my top. Todd's shaking his head, but Todd's an idiot.
No, I just don't. They got a lot to prove in this game, and I don't think they're going to do it with a single player campaign.
Maybe.
Even Phil Spencer came out and he basically said, like, we're not done with this series, but we're not trying to fucking make some groundbreaking game with this
That's
game.
not what he said. He specifically said more along the lines of like, this isn't make or break for 343. Like, we're not like, or not make or break.
Which is that's a whole nother conversation in itself, because that's wild to me, because 343 is kind of struck out as far as campaigns go, not multiplayer, but like.
Listen, what he says publicly and what actually happens doesn't have to be the same thing.
Of course.
But regardless, I actually, before we go on this path, I do want to say, as of right now, again, Biomutant, probably like a 7 for me. It's in my top now, but that probably won't be a game that lasts in my top.
I still need to play that.
It's not bad. It has some good aspects to it, but it's overall not my favorite game. But as far as stuff that's coming out that I think could shake up my list a lot, 12 Minutes I think has a strong case to be a really, really good game that I enjoy. That's the Annapurna game that has Daisy Ridley, James McAvoy, and Green Goblin.
You forget the most important guy's name. Come on,
Goblin.
William Dafoe, motherfucker.
William Dafoe has those 3 voice actors in it, which is kind of bonkers to me. Halo Infinite, obviously. I think, again, Zelda Skyward Sword, you can make the argument for or against something that's a remake, remaster. I will say I'm very, very excited about the quality of life stuff that is added into the game.
That game just looks so...
Todd, you have never played the game.
I don't care about graphics.
Bullshit.
But that game looks so fucking dated, and it looks so wonky. And
it's a Wii
I
game.
know it's like... No, I get it, but like... There's Xbox 360 games that still I would jump into now and be like, this game still feels good and looks good.
The 360 is a more powerful machine than the Wii.
Yeah, whatever. But regardless, like that game just looks like everything about it looks wooden, and I really want to play it because it's like one of the few Zeldas I haven't played. But everything about like I know they have to build the combat for like not motion control. It just looks so like, and it just looks weird. Nothing looks good about that game except that it's a Zelda game.
So then
like,
don't play it. It's fine. You don't have to like it.
But I know, but it's like the only Zelda game I've never played.
So then
it's
fucking buy it and play it. I don't know what to tell you. Like pick a lane. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to revisit it because a lot of the quality of life stuff that they've fixed that they kind of put out in trailer recently. You can turn down how much fee you play, Dom. I can't remember.
I did not play this one.
So fee is like your like a spirit that is in your sword and can be very annoying, like overly annoying with like tips and like interact with you, whatever. You can turn that.
Hey,
yes, like listen, way worse than Navi ever was. People hate fee. You can pretty much turn that off for the most part, which people are excited about. One of the things that I don't like about this game, I think Wind Waker also does this, which if they ever port Wind Waker to the Switch, I hope they also implement this feature, which is every time you pick up a fucking item, rupee, whatever it may be, you hold it above your head, window pops up, tells you what it is. All right, when I picked up a fucking green rupee for the 10 millionth time, I know what a green rupee is. I don't need to explain it to me. That's gone, which is incredible. Like, that is so much wasted fucking nonsensical time that is just
it's crazy.
Gone now. And it is such a, like, that for me is personally the biggest change where like, oh, I don't have to worry about opening this chest and getting a rupee and having to go through a dialogue window for this. Little shit like that. I mean, which is just old game design.
I feel like after playing Breath of the Wild, it's going to be really tough to fucking go back to a game like this. It's so streamlined and like
sure. I mean,
it's
absolutely, yeah. But I mean, I know what
maybe
it's the same. Like you have to. I feel like you have to know what you're getting yourself into. You have to like align your expectations with the game you're about to play. This is a game that came out years and years before Breath of the Wild. It is not anything like Breath of the Wild in most ways. But I'm super excited about it. I think, that'll be a game I really enjoy this year. Part of my conversation, probably not, just simply because it's an old game. I wouldn't personally want to put that in my, unless it really fucking flips me over and I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Skyward Sword's one of the best Zelda games. I'm going to go to bat for it. Maybe. But
I don't love that some of the quality of life is locked behind amiibo
so
purchase.
Stupid.
I think the only thing is fast travel, which is
good luck
annoying.
trying to get that amiibo too, because that amiibo is probably going to be impossible to get.
It probably will.
If they made that accessible to everyone, then I wouldn't probably have a huge issue with that. But I do still find it to be. It's just another dumb Nintendo decision that they usually make.
Yeah,
it's still paid quality of life.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is not.
Exactly.
It is not a good consumer friendly choice if
No,
it's locked behind
definitely
that.
not.
I mean, maybe it won't be locked behind there, and they just haven't said that outwardly. But I have a feeling it will be locked behind that.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
definitely.
Christ Tales is another game I'm really excited about. Hopefully that makes an impact on me. Death's Door is another game I'm very excited about. I hope that also makes an impact on me. I could see that making my top of the year as things close down. I would love to play Neo: The World Ends With You, but that's contingent on if I play the first game this year. So who knows? I'm really excited for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which again, old games collection ported. So
So I didn't know there's no court cases in that. Did you know that? There's no court.
Wait, really?
Nothing. Yes, because Schreier is playing it. I was listening to Triple Click, and he's been playing it because it comes out in like a couple weeks, right?
It comes out this month, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no court cases in that game. You literally are like kind of like detectiving it. And
Interesting.
He loves it though, and he's a huge fan of like those games.
Yeah.
So he still loves it. So I'm sure I'll probably end up playing it too.
But I'm getting it for sure. Like I can't wait for it to come out. I didn't know there's no court cases. I do that reminds me that I do need to finish the other Ace Attorney games.
I do too.
They're so good. It's so good. Mike, I think you'd really fucking like Ace Attorney.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should really fucking pick it up because it's fucking fantastic.
We'll see.
It's just good. It's just good, Mike.
I think Deathloop's gonna knock all my game of the years out of there, and it's gonna probably end up being because that game is a game that is my ideal type of game.
Yeah,
I think that game's gonna be fucking dope.
I could see that being a top game for you, if not the top.
I want Guardians to be my game of the year.
I
It
hope
has
it's good.
potential. It has potential.
I had zero interest in it, but like, yeah, it's just I would love it.
I have a ton of interest in it. I just don't expect much from it.
Yeah, I don't either. And it's coming out this year, correct?
Yes, I think October.
Which like, and we didn't even find out about it till like 3 months ago. That's I feel like that's like a red flag in some ways.
3 months ago is generous. We found out about it like
last
month, didn't we?
Like a month, yeah. Like I feel like that's always a huge red flag.
I don't think it's a red flag. I think they just
no, it's not a red flag.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. They made one of the best Marvel games ever, so I mean, we should still give these guys a chance.
Technically, it's a different team. It is not the same people working on it. It's just being published by Square.
I actually really like the game too, so like I'm like knocking myself for like liking that. But...
You're a fucking moron.
Love to play that game too.
Don't play it right now because unless they've already patched it, which I hope they fucking did. If you play it right now,
it takes everything out of your game, right?
It reveals your IP address on the screen for everyone else.
That's what it was.
Wait, really?
Yes. Yeah. They keep fucking up with that game. They keep doing really fucked up things.
How do you fuck up such a huge like property?
Easily.
Like it's just so fucking weird to me.
Easily.
Well, I mean, at least it's not a giant security problem.
Yeah. Cannon Bridge of Spirits, I'm very excited for. I think that could be a top game for me. No More Heroes 3, also a game I think I could see making my top 10.
Listen, none of the other No More Heroes games are really that great. I'm so sick of people acting like this is like a huge deal. Like literally the No More Hero games are okay. They're like not like some like revolutionized like.
It doesn't have to be a revolutionized thing. Some people can love the game, Todd.
And the stories are so fucking stupid. Like they're so ridiculous. Like in those
Mario,
games.
Full stop. Mario Golf Super Rush is not a good game. I'm loving this game, but it's not a good game.
Yeah, but the controls are good and everything.
Yeah, but it's not a good game.
Controls have never.
It's not revolutionizing anything. It's not doing anything new for golf.
So No More Heroes doesn't have a good story. It's just got fucking super like over the top.
It's just your opinion.
It's like
just your opinion.
The gameplay's never really been like anything like special. Like so, like I don't know why people are fucking acting like people do this with every Nintendo game because it's like a new Nintendo game.
It's not a Nintendo game. It's coming out on PlayStation. Well,
I know, but it's. Oh, is it coming on PlayStation 2? I didn't know that.
It's not a Nintendo game. It's Grasshopper manufactured. They're not owned by Nintendo.
Listen, and you're talking to someone who's played 90% of the Grasshopper games, and I liked a couple of them, but they are like the worst controlled games. Like Shadow of the Damned was a really fun game, but like
that's fine.
They don't know how to control, like implement good controls into their game.
I mean, I like No More Heroes. It's a good stylized game. It does a lot of interesting things. I like Suda51. I think he makes good games. I mean, is it going to be my game of the year? Probably not. Can it be my top 10? Potentially. No idea. There was something else I wanted to mention. If She Dreams, Metroid Dread, Don brought it up. That hopefully will be a contender for me. I'm very excited for that game. I kind of want to play through Metroid, Super Metroid, and Metroid Fusion leading up to it, but we'll see if that actually happens.
Kind of on a tangent, did anybody see the thing that came out that Nintendo had turned down a super realistic version of F-Zero?
No, I didn't see that.
There was, I guess they were talking about making a high def version of F-Zero for the Switch, and they were like, yeah, that's probably not a great idea.
I think that's probably the right move on their end because I think the people who want another F-Zero are a very small base of people. I don't think it's like this giant crowd of people that want fucking F-Zero.
I mean, here's the thing: is that
even Metroid doesn't sell, and I'm really curious. I think it will sell well because, Switch hardware is fucking through the roof.
Here's the thing:
but like, no one ever buy these fucking games.
Here's the thing: you're correct that these franchises, these B-level Nintendo franchises, don't have the sales to back up them continuing to make new games in them, arguably. But Nintendo's in a space where the Switch is on track to be one of the best-selling consoles of all time. So, and the attach rate for software for their platforms is very high. They have the potential to kind of reinvigorate a lot of these franchises. An F-Zero game could do really well for the franchise. A Pikmin game could do really well for the franchise, for those things. And those are like...
If you're going to give me...
Well, I was just saying, those are like there's a certain expectation they have for what Metroid Dread is going to sell. Like, it's going to... Their expectation of it isn't going to be what a Mario or Zelda game or Pokemon game is expected to sell. It's going to be if we sell over X million copies, this is a success for us. And if it hits that mark, it's still going to be much lower than a Zelda or Mario, but it's going to be where they want that game to be. And if that happens, then they're fine. I can see them in the age of the Switch because the console is doing so well. I can see them revisiting F-Zero. We'll see Star Fox get a game probably. We'll see all of these lower level franchises in the Nintendo stable get new games. We're getting a fucking WarioWare game. There's a fan base that loves those games, but it's not this fucking console selling high volume title, but it's a core sort of, title that people do care about. So the fact that they're dipping
WarioWare is like you play it a couple of times, you've played all the mini games.
Yeah, for sure. But there are people that love that shit. There are people that love that shit. That's all that matters. And like they're at a comfortable level of our consoles performing so well, we can now dip deeper into the well and satisfy a wider portion of our fan base because consoles doing really well. Best Zelda game of all time, best Smash game of all time, best Mario Kart game of all time, best Animal Crossing game of all time. They have all these things that are firing on fucking all cylinders times 10. They're allowed
and they're still
to
not
now
doing
dig
anything
deeper.
with them though. But like with like Animal Crossing, they're like literally like abandoning that fucking game. Like they're not done
abandoning
anything.
the game, Todd.
I'm not saying they're abandoning it, but that game is like how many units has that game sold? It's fucking ridiculous.
Like 36 million.
Sold. Exactly, and they're not. The last big update was swimming in the fucking water, which was over a year ago.
Todd,
like I don't understand. Like I just don't understand. There are a lot.
It's a game that they were going to update over time, no matter what.
But they haven't been.
Todd, New Leaf got major updates years later. Like,
yeah, but what they're doing with this game right now is what Overwatch does. We're going to give you the same fucking events every fucking time you jump into a new season of this game.
Care?
And we're not going to. Because what do you mean? Because I love.
How many hours did you put into Animal Crossing New Horizons?
Probably more than anyone here. Like
how many? Guess.
350 maybe.
So with you spending 350 hours in that $60 game, do you feel like you didn't get your money's worth out of that game?
No, I absolutely did, but
so
I want to play that game. Because I want to play that game more. Why would I?
So when they drop a big update,
the pandemic didn't happen. If the pandemic didn't happen, I could say you could like cut that gameplay in half. I probably would have only played like 150
and it probably also wouldn't have sold 36 million fucking copies.
Yeah.
So like Nintendo always had a long-term plan, I'm sure, for this game to extend its life.
Doesn't seem like it.
It's been out for a little over a year. A little over a year.
And they've only had one major update.
Again.
That's it.
Again.
That's nothing.
Again, Nintendo probably has a long-term plan for the game, but they're not going to accelerate everything because of the pandemic.
Already done with it. They're going to be like, hey, we're all done with this game. Fucking no one plays it anymore. No one talks about Animal Crossing anymore because they don't. And like literally, and I don't think anyone fucking like.
What do you want from it? It's a fucking life sim. Like, what do you want from it?
Yeah, I mean, just add some stuff to it. Add some newer things.
They
like, you know what I'm saying?
I
like,
promise you.
Make it so like if I could play with other people, it's not a fucking chore. That would be my first step.
That's a whole different fucking issue. A whole different.
I mean, there's so many issues with that game. For a game that sold 36 million copies, it's like they're taking their sweet ass time. Like it doesn't make it like
you think the games just fucking snap like that and they can add all this shit to it. Like that's not how it works.
But like look at Mario Party. How many years did it take for them to add that thing to Mario Party? It should have been there from fucking day one.
Sure, it should have been there from day one. But you're conflating a lot of different things at once. Like they're online.
I'm just saying this
aspects.
is how they do things, though. Like this is how Nintendo does things. Like,
again,
they do it at
but
their own fucking pace.
I don't think anyone anticipated less than a year of the game being out. It's selling over 30 million copies. That's not a normal thing. That's not normal.
No, which is why I think that there should have been more updates than just that update they did probably. And that update was probably like 8 or 9 months ago. So like you've gone 9 months.
It has not been 9 months since they added that.
Yes, it has. Absolutely. They added that like within the first 3 months or 4 months of that game. That swimming came in relatively like during the summertime.
Regardless, Todd,
last year.
I honestly, personally, like I know what you're saying right now, but I don't know what they would add that would make you jump back into the game seriously. What do you mean new stuff? You complain about the store. Yes, I know.
No, yes. You get the same items over and over again, but like, and then you're you even admit the online's fucking broken to get into other people's islands. They don't make it easy to play with other people to get their stuff from their stuff.
Why would I not admit that? I'm not. Nintendo's not in my pocket. I'm not going to stand up for them. They're online for pretty much
a little bit.
They're online for pretty much every game is bad.
I feel like Nintendo gets this free pass all the time for like a lot of this shit. Though.
From me?
No, from everyone. For, like,
sure, other people maybe,
fan.
but like I'm gonna look at this from a just from how any business is gonna work. Todd, they updated New Leaf up until like 5 years after it came out. Like they put out a huge fucking update to that game long into that game's life cycle. I fully expect that Animal Crossing New Horizons has a long-term plan for content updates that are bigger than just like little events and holiday things. But I don't just think because the game sold 30 million copies that they're going to snap their fingers and have new shit out. I definitely think they probably are accelerating certain things that maybe they plan on adding at later dates. But that also doesn't just mean that they're going to pop them out.
They don't even have stuff that they have in New Leaf in that game. Like there's stuff that's missing from New Leaf that they could easily implement into that game.
There are things that are in previous Mario Golf games that aren't in this Mario Golf. Like that's
but that's fucking Mario Golf. I think Animal Crossing's a whole nother. I think comparing Mario Golf to fucking Animal Crossing is like
listen. Nintendo wants Animal Crossing to be a pillar of their thing. New Leaf started that for them. New Horizons cemented that for them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that game development works where they can snap their fingers and they can just make it happen. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I think using the game development excuse for Nintendo is an excuse. Like
why? Most of these studios are still working remotely.
Yeah, but most of these people know
Sakurai in the most recent
Smash Brothers has done way more in like the last year than what Animal Crossing has done.
Way more in the last year? What have they done?
They've put new fighters in and new maps and new music and stuff like that. Like Animal Crossing has done nothing.
Full fucking stop. In the last year, when they add a new fighter and new maps and new music, they add one new map and one new fighter at the same time. Because they're a part of a package. And in the most recent Sakurai Presents where he talks about Kazuya, he specifically says that we're still working from home. This is still a challenge, and the last fighter will come out this year. You just aren't going to hear about it for a long time because we're still working from home. So, like, yes, that fully impacts how they're able to do things, especially a company like Nintendo because they are so secretive and they don't want people knowing things.
They haven't even brought up Animal Crossing. Like, have you heard anything from Nintendo on it? Like, they don't have to have something right now, but have you heard anything about Animal Crossing in the last, 6 months?
No, but I fully expect them
That's fucking crazy to me.
Sure.
Like these games are like based off of what like social media like the more people that like are saying, hey, I'm playing Animal Crossing on fucking Twitter and shit like that, the more people do that shit, the more the game gets hyped up, and no one's talking about Animal Crossing anymore. Crossing,
I still have people on my timeline that play Animal Crossing daily, weekly, and post about it. Is it the same thing as everyone who's locked in a fucking house playing this game? Listen, you're talking about a game that came out in March where the world went into lockdown. Like,
agreed, but
it was a perfect storm for Nintendo.
It still has less features than a 3DS game. That's crazy to me.
What more? I want to hear what you think more features are in New Leaf that are not in New Horizons. I'd love to hear what you have to say here.
In New Leaf, you could go to a online area where you could like literally go and view other people's houses and like do this go through like there would be rows of people's houses when you like it was part of like the main strip. The KK slider thing is just like a waste of time at this point. Like he literally sits out. He doesn't have his own club. There's no coffee shop. There's fucking like literally like it's there's a lot less content just because you can fucking terraform your island. Like there's all that other stuff is like there's so
hold
much
on.
stuff.
I want to know. You want to spend time going to other people's islands?
I would like to see like what other people are doing with their islands and be like, cool, I should try.
You can do that because they did add that to the game.
What with like the dream thing or whatever?
Yes,
don't you need a friend code to do that?
That's the same fucking thing. You don't need a friend code. You just need a fucking the person's island code. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't need that before. Like that's like now all of a sudden I need.
I don't think that's correct. I'm not sure, but I don't think that's correct.
But it's
what did the coffee shop bring to your experience in Animal Crossing that you're missing right now?
it's just new stuff to go see on a daily basis. Like there's like if we were still playing this game right now, I don't know what the fuck we'd be doing. Like what would we like? You get your fossils done right away. You get like everything.
What
like
is
everything you can
you have
possibly.
maxed out your museum? No, you didn't.
No, like but like half the reason I haven't maxed it out because I dropped the game because it got boring after a while because there was nothing new to it. Like I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
sit and
again,
wait for
but
like
you
3
also
months for a
put
new
fucking
season.
400 hours into the game. I would argue that you have like got your money's worth with that game.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying I didn't get my money's worth. I would like to see a game like that do more with what they could do rather than just because I played it in the pandemic for 300 hours, I got my money's worth, of course. But like that doesn't speak well of the game. If like just because I got 300 hours,
I'm just confused as to like if a
that game got to a point.
If
like,
a game
we haven't played that game in like 5 months. Like, and if you have, you probably played it like once.
I played it within the last month.
Yeah, like it's like we haven't touched that game. Like no one has touched that game.
But at this point, I just don't understand what you want from the game at this point. Like for me, I went back to my
items, new stuff. Like I don't feel like there's a lot of stuff. And like you said, like you've always said, like the main reason what this game wants you to do is play with friends so you can get items on their island. But they make playing with friends
that is not the main reason. I'm just saying that there are other things you can do.
It shouldn't be. Yeah, it's just crazy to me, and it gets to the point where you're just like, okay, I guess I'll change my island because I got nothing else to do. I'll terraform everything all over again. Here we go. And that's basically all you can do at this point.
I'm just very confused as to exactly what you want from the game at this point because I really don't know what that is.
Just something. Because I feel like they're doing the same thing that I bitch about Overwatch all the time. We're just going to give you the same seasonal items. Hey, it's Easter. We got a bunny and eggs. Hey, it's fucking Christmas. Roll around this snowman that fucking doesn't even tell you how to roll it around, and you can't even get it perfect anytime.
So that makes me just think, but that just makes me think that you don't actually enjoy what the core gameplay loop of Animal Crossing is, because the core gameplay loop of Animal Crossing isn't here's a brand new event with
of course,
items
but
you haven't seen.
The core loop can be completed in like 60 hours. Like you know what I'm saying? That core loop of gameplay is not a giant core loop of gameplay for Animal Crossing. There's not much to it.
It's a life sim. It is meant to just be a thing that you spend time in and decorating and changing your island. Like I would argue that terraforming is more than any other previous Animal Crossing game has had in it, simply because it gives you the ability to not just remodel your home, you can literally remodel the entire fucking island.
Yeah, I think that's the best part of the game. That's it. But like you can only do the terraforming so much without anything new items or anything. Like it's cool.
But like, you also don't have every item in the game. You may have all the things that you care about, but like
so how the fuck do I get them? Like it's like like that snowball thing with like we talked about this. Like they don't even explain how to do it.
Todd, I literally don't know why we're talking about fucking Animal Crossing right now.
I'm just saying that's how you get new items is by
for the winter event. Sure,
exactly.
And a thing that didn't work that we don't like. Sure, you really want the items and you don't want to do the event. Go on to Nookazon and just fucking trade with somebody. You can spend bells or Nook Miles tickets and get the items very easy. There are ways to do it if you don't want to do it the way the game
not
wants
looking to play a game to have to go online to fucking bargain with people. Like that if that's how I have to play a game,
it's
good.
not
That's
how you have to play the game, but you don't like how the game functions, so then go use the workaround. I don't know. Why are we talking about fucking Animal Crossing? No one fucking cares about Animal Crossing. Jesus fucking Christ.
Exactly. Thank you for proving my point. Thank you.
I care about Animal Crossing. I'm just saying that
no one cares about it.
No one gives a fuck about this conversation because you're just talking about fucking nonsense. You're talking about that you hate the game. Congratulations, you hate the game. I don't care if you hate the game. I don't care if you feel like.
I think what you're saying, you're in the minority. I think people who play Animal Crossing will definitely agree with me more than they would agree with you.
I would love if they added new shit to Animal Crossing this year. I hope they fucking do. When they added the Mario stuff, I turned it on in March to download the Mario stuff. When I streamed for fucking charity at the beginning of last month, I turned it on to visit my island because I haven't been there in a while. I love Animal Crossing. I'll pop into my island once in a while. I've put almost 400 hours into that game. I feel very satisfied with that game. If I never play it again, also fine. If I hop back in at some point when they add marginal updates, also fine. I don't care. It doesn't occupy my brain space. There are plenty of other games to play. I'm not someone who's going to lock into Animal Crossing and play that for the rest of my life. That's not who I am.
No, but I would like. I mean, it lasted 6 months max. Like,
Is
you
that
know
a
what I'm saying?
negative
Like,
thing? I don't know what
yeah,
you're
because
trying
like
to measure. I don't know what you're trying to measure.
Because it was like fun to wake up and be like, "What's in the shop?" And then it gets to the point at like 3 months. It got to the point that like, "Oh, there's nothing in the shop anymore."
I would
Okay,
argue
no,
for better or for worse, Animal Crossing came out at the right time because it gave us some sort of
absolutely.
routine and normalcy during a pandemic when we were all locked inside, but it also made us overplay that game a lot. So, like, take that for what it is. I don't know what to tell you. You can love it or hate it. I don't care. It's your opinion. It's not my opinion. What should they add new stuff? Do I think they're going to add new stuff? Yes, they're going to add new shit. They'll have marginal updates that matter, but you want them to just have it now, and it's not here. It's Nintendo. Who the fuck cares? Like, there are a million other games to play. Go finish Mass Effect.
No, that game is not good.
Then I don't know what to tell you. Get the fuck out of here. Forza Horizon 5 will be a great game. I'm excited for that. Shin Megami Tensei 5 will be a great game. I'm excited for that. She Dreams Elsewhere, Sable, I'm excited for those games as well. If Baldo comes out this year, I'm really excited for that. Those are games that could potentially affect my games of the year. If anyone has anything else they want to add at this moment, do so. If not, let's please end this episode so I never have to talk about Animal Crossing with Todd ever again.
I just hope by the end of the year we get some sort of announcement of some sort of like Animal Crossing update.
It'd be great. It'd be fantastic. It'd be great.
That no one will go back to.
Speak for yourself.
Everyone's so far. I don't know.
I'll be very happy to go into it.
That's my issue with the length of it. Is everything. I'm so far removed from it, and I don't want to be far removed from it.
So then pick up the game and fucking play it.
Oh, sweet. Let me go into my store that fucking closes at like 8 o'clock.
Okay. So like, what is it that you want? You want to walk into your store and see new items? That's what's going to get you excited? What's going to get you excited?
So I can decorate my item. You can only decorate your island so much. It's like you get to the point where you're like, cool, I got nothing else to do here. Like, how many times can I get the same fucking bed frame and the same fucking
I don't know. If what you care about is the items, then yes, you're gonna be. They haven't added a lot of new items since the game came out. Like, if that's what you care about,
that seems simple.
What you care about, I don't. Yeah. If that's what you care about, I wanna. This year, I plan on major overhauling my island and changing how it looks, like dramatically, and that has really nothing to do with what items are available in the game because I'm
writing this. What's today's date? What are we? 6/3. I'm gonna see.
It's 7/2. Like I don't know what fucking calendar you're looking at, but
I'm gonna see it. I guarantee you're not gonna touch your island.
Sure, you might be right, but I'm saying that I plan and would love to at some point revamp my island. I know the things I want to get rid of, and I know the villagers I want to get rid of, but does that happen? Who the fuck knows? There's a million games I should be playing. There's a million games I should be going into my backlog for. Will I get to Animal Crossing? I don't know. Still my game of the year last year. Don't really care what you think about it.
Think about this. Gary Whitta literally dropped Animal Crossing for fucking Fall Guys to do a Fall Guys podcast. That's how hard that game dropped.
That's the benchmark for you?
I'm just saying, like, that dude was getting celebrities. Everyone was fucking on board with that. And then everyone's like, yeah, I don't care about this game anymore. There's nothing to do with it.
And now he just doesn't do a show altogether. So did he make the right move? No. Who the fuck knows? That's your benchmark for Animal Crossing?
I'm
cool.
That's not my benchmark. I'm just saying, like, this guy had like a successful show that was very popular.
And he probably could have kept it going because it's Animal Crossing. But he chose to pivot to the next quote unquote hot thing, and that didn't really pan out, did it? Anyways, I don't know why you want to harp on Animal Crossing so much.
I think it's pretty weak.
That's fine. You're allowed to think that. Mike, how do you feel about Animal Crossing?
Yeah, it's a game.
Todd's right about me saying it's a game. I mean, I think that's an accurate summation of what I would say to a game that I have not played. I've not played a single game in the series.
Would you ever play an Animal Crossing game?
I feel as though if I were to play it, I would probably get bored of it faster than Todd did, and I don't think I would even have anything close to the level of, I would say passing enjoyment that you seem to have, where you can go back and be like, oh yeah, I want to do that. And like I just
think that with
Mike,
certain...
you said faster than Todd did, but you do understand that Todd put hundreds of hours into that game.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure out of minus Joe, I put in the most hours into that game out of anyone.
You did
by like a lot. Yeah,
you
it's
did,
like
which is
Perfect.
why I'm
it's a
more...
high bar, but it makes it like it's still valid that I would get to.
Yeah, I mean you're sliding under a very high bar.
Yeah, it's even more baffling to me. But I guess it's par for the course with Todd, because Todd's put in thousands of hours to Overwatch and refuses to say it's a game of the decade. So I mean,
but that's another game though. Like, and I don't want to go down this tangent, but it's another game.
We have literally already went down this tangent more than once. You don't even.
Yeah,
need
but
to
I get
sentence.
it. But I'm just saying, like,
Everyone knows.
Hey, here's the same fucking holiday event. That's all we got for you guys. We got some shitty skins with one good one. It's like the same fucking thing.
It honestly just makes me think that you don't like those two games. That's what it sounds like to me. Is you don't care about.
So I really
games.
liked them when I started them, but I just saw the lack of support that went to.
And you continue to put 1,000 hours into Overwatch?
I saw the lack of support is what got me out of those games, though. For those games, that's pretty much it.
I don't think that's what got you out of Overwatch, but
100%. Like I stopped getting excited for these events. Like I'm like, oh, we're doing this again. Okay, cool. Oh, all right. We're on year 5 or 6 in Overwatch, and we're still getting the same fucking events that they can't even put a teeny bit of effort into doing something different.
I hate this conversation so much.
We have it too often.
We're done. We have it too often.
No,
I don't understand. I don't understand why you... I just don't understand. Anyways, does anyone else have anything else they think will affect their Game of the Year list going towards the end of the year? The second half of the year. Mike wants to shake his head on a podcast as his response.
Because I don't have to explain myself to you.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. Dom, anything? Anything that's going to alter the list that you haven't mentioned?
No, I think I mentioned everything that I'm... Well, I guess Skywalker Saga.
Is that supposed to come out this year? I don't know.
Lego Star Wars, I mean, it was supposed to. I don't think they've updated their... They pushed it, and I don't know if they've given us a date, but...
Fair enough. If Tunic comes out this year, I could see that being a game that makes my top. Sifu for Todd, probably.
What'd you say?
Sifu for Todd, probably.
What's Sifu?
The game that you sent a link to the three of us earlier.
Oh, yeah. The way you said that, like, I feel like I read that differently. Yeah.
Is it Sifu? I don't know how to say that word.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't. You're probably saying it right.
I have no idea.
I believe it is Sifu.
Anyways.
I feel like I also want to play Sable.
Sable looks really good. That's definitely a potential. Just the art style alone, like, I want that. I want that bad.
I guess at some point before the year ends, maybe I'll buy Scarlet Nexus. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it.
I really want to jump into that too.
Potential. That has potential. I've heard some good things about it. Tales of Arise is another one where I've not really played anything in the Tales series, but there are people that love that series, and Arise seems to be from what I understand, the game that may bridge the gap for people who haven't really played the series, be a little bit more welcoming. So
listen, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I just want to say one thing. I think like 6 months ago, we had this conversation about Animal Crossing where I was saying all this stuff, and here we are 6 months later and we're still saying the same thing. So I do think that's a problem.
What is the problem?
Lack of we're in a state where games are getting updated constantly.
We live in a society.
No, but like games are constantly getting updated, and I get Nintendo plays by their own rules.
Name one game. Name one game.
I mean, most of the battle royales, if you want, like any of those games.
Name one game. Just please name one game for me.
Okay, Fortnite.
Okay, Fortnite.
PUBG,
Fortnite.
Warzone.
What other game is Epic working on?
I mean,
so their source of revenue is a game called Fortnite that they constantly update and overwork their employees to update. Yes, it
Yeah.
makes sense that Fortnite, a game that is built around constantly being updated, is constantly updated. What's
No, I
another
feel
one?
like any game these days, like Resident Evil is getting DLC. Like there's every single player of the game that comes out usually has more content that comes out for that
How
game.
many hours
Like
did it take you to beat Resident Evil 7? 8?
12.
I mean,
And I rushed through it. I like ran through that game. I didn't fucking try to I like just wanted to like beat it and get achievements and fucking.
I'm just saying. I think you're kind of like conflating things. Like, Capcom, yes, has a long-term plan for Monster Hunter Rise and is slowly updating things. And
It's another game, yeah.
some people don't like Monster Hunter Rise's content currently. Jesse, who loves, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I've been in part of conversations where I've overheard Jesse say things like he likes Monster Hunter World a little bit more. It's post-release content because
Yeah, but he can't even play the content though.
what?
He can't play the content. You have to be a certain rank to play that content, so you can't even really play most of that content unless you're like level like 80 or 90.
I'm just
Like
saying
I
that
haven't even been able to play half of that content.
so is that good content added to the game if you can't even fucking play
Yeah,
it?
because you just got to keep on playing the game and like unlocking your rank and go higher, and it just gives
You
you
gotta
more
keep
reason to play
doing
the
the
game.
exact same thing over and over and over again for hours until you get the item, the monster that you want.
No, not even really. Like there's so many armor sets I want in that game where like I haven't even fought half of the monsters.
Yeah, but
that
you
many
but you
times.
want to get the new stuff, the post content stuff. You have to level 100. That takes hours and hours of doing the same thing over and over again.
It moves pretty quick, the rank in that. You go pretty quick. But yeah, most of these
Yeah.
games have updates. Like you have updates.
Sure,
You got an update
Animal
from-
Crossing has updates too, Todd. It's just not the updates that you want.
I mean, yeah, if you call updates doing the same holidays over and over again, sure, they got updates that they
The
don't
game
change
has
anything
been
to.
out for a little bit over a year. So yes, it has added updates for every holiday that they usually celebrate in
Year and a
Animal
half,
Crossing.
actually. It's about a year and a half now, right?
Came out in March. So yes, sure. It's been a year and a couple of months. April, May, June. 3 months and 2 days. Well, I forget what day in March it came out. I think it was the last week of March. When was PAX that year? Because it came out after PAX.
It was like early April, late March is when it came out, around that time.
So
It was right
last
at the
week of
beginning
March. Last week of March. So it's a year and a couple months. So yes, if the content in this year isn't anything marginal, sure. Have your fucking gripes with it. But I'm not necessarily ready to tear down Animal Crossing New Horizons because they haven't added a coffee shop and this and that and all these fucking things. Because you know what? Even when they do add those things, I'm probably not going to stop what I'm doing and run back to the game right away. And that's just my personal reality of where I'm at playing games. It doesn't discount the game for me. It just doesn't.
Yeah, so you're saying you're not even going to run back to it. So I don't even know why you're arguing this point so much. Because I say I would run back to this game if they fucking did shit like this.
But I don't even think you would.
I absolutely would, 100%.
I don't think you would.
Dude, you saw how much time I put into that game. I would 100% go back to that game if they added something that I actually was like, cool. Let's do it.
The thing is the stuff they're going to add that I anticipate them adding, I don't think they're the things that are going to make Todd Gary drop the games he's playing and turn on Animal Crossing.
That game could easily do a slow drip of like items, like a slow fucking drip.
It really
It
did.
and then they're like, cool,
No, we're in year 2 and you're just not, you haven't been satisfied. Todd hasn't been satiated. They haven't given him something new yet. And they haven't.
Yeah.
The only new thing this year so far, from what I understand, is the Mario stuff that came out in March.
Yeah.
So Todd Gary isn't fucking happy. They'll probably add Zelda stuff this year. They'll probably add Metroid stuff this year. Is that going to be enough for Todd? Because I don't see them maybe adding more than that.
New Leaf launched with all that stuff when it started. You didn't even
Sure,
have to
Animal
fucking wait for
Crossing
it.
Animal Crossing in every game up into that had fucking emulators in it. You could play old Nintendo games.
Yeah, so it's
They're not going to do that anymore. That's not what that
exactly.
game
So
is.
it's like,
But that's not what the game is. I don't.
but they're bringing they brought the Mario stuff slowly back. So is it not what the game is, or is it? Like, if
Are
they're
they
gonna
going to
bring
add
these
fucking
more Nintendo
emulators
items
of
and-
old Nintendo games? No, I don't see them fucking adding those into the game. But if they really want to, sure, you can play those games on fucking the Nintendo Network anyway. What the fuck is the point? You want to play Balloon Fighter really that bad?
Yeah, I don't even that's not something that even matters. I didn't even know about that. That stuff doesn't matter to me.
I don't know.
Just give me more content within the game. That's it.
I just really don't know what Animal Crossing content that you specifically want.
I mean, going into a store for 30 days straight and seeing the same items is not a good game. I'm sorry, it's not. When you're seeing the same fucking items day, and I play this game every day, I wake up and I go into that store and see the same thing. That is not good. That's not like, I'm sorry. And that's something that I could feel like could easily be rectified. Have like better like RNG with fucking what goes in the shop. I don't know, tweak some shit. Like that's not something that like should happen though. It shouldn't be you walk into a store every day. Like perfect example. During the summer, surfboard fan. It's like, come on, guys. You guys aren't even trying at this point.
I really want to point out that like Animal Crossing is not a game that you're supposed to turn on every day and play it every day.
I mean, I think that's what they want with the game.
Todd, they want you to spend $60, and you did. That's what they want. There's no paid microtransactions in the game. They just want you to spend $60, and you did. Like, we all did. But, like, again, the game came out during a pandemic, so everyone played that game more than they ever would have. I never would have had 300 hours to play that game last year if I wasn't spending...
I might have. I played New Leaf a shit ton.
I did too. And I still would have played Animal Crossing that much over the course of me owning it. But last year, I woke up in the morning every fucking day, and the first thing I did was turn on Animal Crossing. If I wasn't locked in my house, that would not have been my routine.
Oh, see, I would have done it right before I got to work every day. I'd be like the first thing I would have done.
I would have been getting up and going to work. Because if I was playing Animal Crossing in my bed, I never would have fucking went to work. So, like, that wouldn't have been my life. Does that make the game bad or worse? I don't know. I just think that we have some sort of unrealistic experience with that game because of when it came out. I think that sure, you can disagree. That's fine. You're allowed to disagree.
Yeah, I completely disagree.
I just think that a lot of people spent a lot of time with that game in a short span of time when they normally wouldn't have had that much time to play that game.
I did the same thing with 3DS. I did spend a lot of time with that game in a short time. I did the exact same thing that I did now. No different.
Then maybe you saw me. I would don't like Animal Crossing. Then just don't buy the next Animal Crossing because you don't like the game. I don't know what to tell you. If you're unhappy with it, I don't know. I don't know what to say for you. I'm not that person that can fix this problem for you. I'm sorry you dislike it.
I don't think this is a problem with just me. Trust me. This is not a just Todd problem. This is a across the board people who play Animal Crossing problem. I know people were bitching about this within like the first like 8 months. And here we are like a year and a half later. I don't think this is not just a me problem.
I am not, again, to be very fucking clear, I'm not sitting here defending the content or content rollout of this game. I just think that you have to look at it realistically, which is it came out in a pandemic. Most people would not have that much time to play this game concurrently as much as they did, myself included. Not a chance in a normal time would I have spent 300 fucking hours in 8 months in one video game. That's just not realistic. That's a lot of fucking time. And still play all the games I played last year. I could have spent 300 hours in Animal Crossing if I didn't play Persona 5 Royal, and I didn't play fucking Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I didn't play whatever other Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2, Final Fantasy 7. I would not have played all of those games and still played 300 hours of Animal Crossing if there wasn't a pandemic and I was working outside of my house full time. That just would not have been my life, realistically. Is that a knock or a positive or a plus for Animal Crossing? Does that justify things? I'm not trying to say yes or no either way. I just think that realistically, both Nintendo didn't expect this game to sell this much in 8 months, nor did it expect to have this want and need from the player base to have more content right away. There's always going to be a slow drip. That's their plan with Animal Crossing. That's their plan with Splatoon. That was their plan with Mario Tennis Aces. That's their plan with Mario Golf. Mario Golf, very bare bones game. It's going to get more stuff over time. Is that good or bad? That's your decision to make.
I don't have faith in them with overtime though, because like I just said, going back to Mario Party, they implemented something that should have been there 4 years ago. It took them that long.
100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like I just have no faith in Nintendo to do the fucking things correctly.
Then
like,
don't buy their games. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't know. Like if you're still gonna buy them, then they win. They don't care.
I guess. I mean, you're giving, but that's like such a horrible mentality.
Then don't buy their games. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what the fix is for you. I mean, the new Mario Party game has online at the beginning. They quote unquote learned. I don't know. Whatever you want to take it as.
Let's just end it at Nintendo always gets a free pass.
Who's giving them a free pass?
Everyone.
Are you saying that I am giving them a free pass?
I do think you're giving them a free pass.
What pass am I giving them? What pass am I giving them right now?
No, I can't do this anymore.
I just want to know what pass I'm giving them right now. I want to know.
Because I think that just because I played a certain amount of hours with a game doesn't give that game a free pass to not have more content. That it should have had more from the beginning.
Okay.
Todd, what's your ideal game in the last few years?
I kind of just been playing a lot of single player games recently. That's pretty much the last 2 years.
Pick a game that you've that is like your perfect game.
Maybe Monster Hunter Rise, and they had content within they have had a slow drip of good content since it's launched.
But if it didn't have that content, would you have been unhappy
I'd still like
with the game?
Though. No, because that game's overwhelming to me because it's a big game.
Okay. At no point did Animal Crossing upfront Nintendo say, hey, this is a game that's going to have support over time. I think a lot of us expected it to, just based on New Leaf. When you bought Animal Crossing, were you buying it under the guise of over time, this is going to be a thing that keeps me here and gives me content? Like, is that why you bought the game? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I bought the game because I really enjoyed New Leaf, but I also assumed, when I brought up like everyone else is updating their games constantly, like I feel like
so you brought up Fortnite, which is the only game that Epic
Monster
really
Hunter
makes.
Rise, any single player game, any fucking like Monster Hunter Rise, like literally any game you can fucking bring up any game. They
Todd,
add more content.
I would argue that a game that you put 350 fucking hours into, in a game like Resident Evil that you put 12 into, getting content updates, like there's clearly a disparity there. Like if you're okay with spending $70 on a 12-hour game, but spending $60 on a 350-hour game, why is there a gap there that you're okay with? What is the difference?
Because we know what Animal Crossing is. We're playing that game knowing that it's a game that we're going to play for a while. It's not some game that I'm going to fucking play like Resident Evil for like a week.
You played it for 350 hours. That's a fucking while. That's a
Dude,
long time.
games. I play way more games than most of you guys. So like I play like fucking like 7 hours a day. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, so like for me, that's not a lot of time. Like
Todd,
that's not a lot of time.
Todd, I want to humble you for a second that I have finished more games this year than you have.
Okay, and I've probably played more game time than you have. Just because you finish games doesn't mean like, I literally play for like 7 hours a day.
So I'm confused. So you're the penultimate gamer, like you're the gamer.
No,
so like your opinion matters because you play the most time of games.
Wait,
I'm confused.
I'm confused. I don't even know where you're going right now.
I don't know where you're going because you play the most game time in your words.
No, you just keep on bringing up the hours though, and I think 300 hours doesn't really mean much to me. When you keep on saying you put 300 hours into a game, like cool. I
just don't understand what you would. I just don't understand how Animal Crossing could ever make you happy if spending $60 and playing for over 300 hours isn't.
You keep on bringing up the money, but the money doesn't matter to me. I don't.
So then, what matters to you?
Having a game that I want to go back to, because that's a game that you should be going back to. It's like a life sim. It's like playing The Sims. Like it's like that's a game that like should have updates.
So okay,
that,
all right. So here's where I want to leave this then, if this is correct. Animal Crossing for you is a game that should never get old and always have content that's new. That's what Animal Crossing is to you.
Well, I think it had too little content to start with. That's my biggest problem with the game. I think that game had too little content
And
to
you
start
still put over 300 hours into it.
with. Yes, and I would have put so much more. That's my whole point. I would have been playing that game fucking now still if they were still giving me like stuff. That's my point.
I'm just so confused.
What are you confused about?
How you have put so much time into that game and you are not satisfied with it.
It's not that I'm not satisfied. I had a great time playing the game. I don't know why you're missing this. I'm not satisfied. I'm satisfied that I got to a point where there's like nothing to do in this game. There's nothing
350
to do
hours.
Yes. And honestly, though, 100 of those hours are probably me sitting on the couch falling asleep.
After 250 hours.
Yes. Yeah. For a game like that, a life sim game. I mean,
yeah, The Sims puts out a like big update.
But their game
every
starts big.
2 years.
Animal Crossing didn't start big. Animal Crossing did not.
The Sims does not start big.
It's definitely bigger than Animal Crossing because Animal Crossing is bare bones with what it started with. Like very bare bones. They have all these items you can get, but they're like locked behind seasonal events.
I also want to point out, because I just turned on my Switch, Todd has put in 465 hours into Animal Crossing.
Yeah, but take off 100 hours because he was asleep.
350 hours. 365 hours. I don't know. I'm confused as to what the benchmark is for you to.
I just don't see what hours have to do with anything.
Because if you spent that much time in the game, then like I completely understand criticizing a game. I completely understand wanting more from something. I completely understand looking at the long-term game plan for the game, but you have put in I would argue over the average player puts into that game. Okay. And you are like aggressively undermining the game, in my opinion.
I never even talk about the game personally. We don't even bring up Animal Crossing. So this is just like my opinion. You brought up Animal Crossing. I'm saying, but we don't even talk about it outside of it's not a game we even mention anymore. Like it's like, and for a game that like, we were like,
none of us are really playing it currently.
Exactly. There's a reason why none of us are playing it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, Mike and Dom aren't playing it because they never bought it.
Of course. But I'm saying, like, I don't know, like, anyone who's playing that game.
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say with the game. I don't understand.
And literally half of the hundreds of those hours was me just fucking like, oh, cool, I got my island. What can I do to make this different? I'm just going to change this because there's fucking nothing else to do.
But I was just like,
that's what a life sim is.
Agreed, but there's no new items to fucking change your items. So I'm just like terraforming over and over again, and fucking here's a waterfall, here's not a waterfall. Let's get rid of this one. And it's like, okay, I mean, that's what the game decorate
is.
My island.
I don't know. That's what the game is. Like, I don't know.
All I'm saying is that game started with less content than New Leaf. When New Leaf launched on 3DS, started with less content. It just did. There's not even an argument there.
I really wish my other 3DS was in this room because I kind of want to open it and see how many hours you put into New Leaf.
I don't think it says on the 3DS because I tried looking before. I don't think there's anything on there that says like how many hours you played. I'd probably say 200 though. Nothing as crazy as this newest one.
Oh, it had more content and you put less hours.
Yeah, because it's a fucking 3DS and I hated the 3DS. Like despised it. I don't like the 3DS.
I don't know. Am I crazy? Dom, like, am I like off balance here with firing back at Todd on this topic?
I don't. I mean, I just don't understand what Todd is looking for out of Animal Crossing.
Yes,
it's just. I mean, like, I guess if you played it, if you played it the way I played it,
I played the Animal Crossing games, and I decided that I did not want to play this because it's not the game that I like to play. So,
see, I really enjoyed playing it, but the lack of content was what was really getting to me after a while. The lack of like, hey,
after 350 hours, the lack of content.
The lack of content was after like 50 hours. Like
and then you played it for another 300 hours.
Yeah, because like it was fun. Sometimes we'd meet up and it was like I'd play it because I could just lay on my couch and watch a movie and play that game. And there was no like commitment to that game. Like you're just fucking like I can just dick around and I don't have to focus on this. It's like
that's the game.
Exactly. But like it came with less
content got than a 3DS out of the game what the game
came with less
intending.
content than a 3DS game 10 years prior. I don't see how that's like something that we should all be like, yeah, cool.
But that's
Whatever,
not
you
what
put
any of
300
us are
hours into it.
saying. I'm not
But you're
sitting
saying
here.
I put 300 hours
I'm
into the
not.
game.
What
and
I'm
you're like,
saying, I'm not sitting here championing a game saying, oh, it has less stuff, it's better. I'm just saying you keep arguing about the content of the game, yet you put in a substantial amount of time, and I would argue
in 4 months. In 4 months.
that's even more ridiculous.
Why? We're in a pandemic. Why is that
Yes,
ridiculous?
I know. I keep bringing that up, saying that I think most people put more into that game in a short period of time than would have normally happened, and it sold more copies than it would have sold normally.
Yep.
So the collective, quote unquote, what you call outrage of people saying there isn't enough content probably wouldn't be there because most of these people wouldn't have had all of this extra time to play this game.
Yeah, but even jumping in for a day, like jumping into your shop for like, dude, like I don't know how you can justify like something like the shop. The shop's trash, and like
I
the
never at
shop
any
having
point
like
justified
having a
the shop.
surfboard over and over in the shop. Like they
Todd,
don't even change items. They're
at
like, fuck
no
you guys. We're just
point
gonna
did
have the
I
same fucking
justify the
specialty item.
shop. There are plenty of things I can point out and criticize about the game. I'm not a big fan of getting repeat DUI.
I'm saying I would have
there
played
are
this
plenty
game
of
a
things I
lot
can
more. Like you guys wouldn't be playing. You guys wouldn't be playing Fortnite right now if they didn't constantly update that game. You wouldn't be. You would not be playing that game if they constantly
For
updated.
sure.
If they didn't, for sure. So like my whole point is, I would be playing this game so much more if they actually did something to it. They
But
don't
that's
do anything
not
to
the
it.
game.
Yes, it is. That's how the old game was.
It was not like that.
No, I'm talking about like New
Didn't
Leaf.
constantly update New Leaf.
It came with more content though. Like you can't like have a game a window of 10 years and make a game with less content. Like unless you're going to update it. It makes no sense.
I'm sure they
Like,
plan on updating it. But like you said, there was a pandemic and people played a year's worth of game in a span of 2 or 3 months.
I personally think I would have put the same time if there was or wasn't a pandemic into that game. Like I don't think a pandemic affected my play of that game.
Okay, then you would have been dissatisfied with the game. But that's just the game. I don't know what more you expected out of Animal Crossing. That's what Animal Crossing is.
Yeah, but every time a new iteration of a game comes out, these games don't just stay the fucking same. I know you're saying like that's how Animal Crossing was, but we're in 2021.
Todd,
Games change, games
Todd,
expand, games.
It's a life sim. It's you're getting Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
The Sims. You're getting the Sims. I mean, they add
the most customization outside of your home in Animal Crossing that you could ever do in an Animal Crossing game is picking where you put your fucking house. This entire game, you can decorate your house and all that shit like normal, but also decorate the island and terraform it. You could never place items outside of your house in an Animal Crossing game. Does that make it groundbreaking? Does it make it all this shit? No, but it is a vastly different game than New Leaf in a lot of ways. Did it have the coffee shop and other certain NPC fucking buildings that the other games had? No, but not all of the Animal Crossing games have the same fucking thing. If that's your biggest gripe with the game, I'm sure that those things in some form are probably coming to the game at some point. But again, I didn't expect those to all happen in year one of Animal Crossing.
Expect everything to happen in year one, but I did expect something to happen.
You got Mario shit in March. Outside
Which
of
came with
of-
New Leaf. Like you got all Nintendo shit with New Leaf.
Sure.
Like you didn't have to wait a fucking year to get Nintendo shit. Plus you got like Zelda shit. You got like a whole bunch of shit with New Leaf. Like you
Sure.
didn't just get Mario stuff.
So is that the game breaking thing that you're missing? Is Nintendo?
I think lack of content. No, lack of content in general. That's it.
I'm not arguing against you that it is missing certain things, but I don't.
We're in a heavy game cycle these days. If you don't update your game, like they can update it in 2 years from now, and we're probably going to be like, cool. Remember Animal Crossing? I'm not going back to that now at this point. I'm on all these new games. Like I would think it would be smarter to keep me going with a game rather than fucking leave me hanging for like 2 years.
Todd, Nintendo was working on this game for years, and they happened to release it at the beginning of a global pandemic, which was, for better or for worse, good for them because it sold probably a lot more than it would have in its first 8 fucking months. Would I think Animal Crossing would sell well over the course of its lifespan? Sure. Would it sell over 30 million copies in its first 8 months? No, and I don't think anyone expected that. It benefited from a global fucking disaster. That doesn't mean that the development plan of the game, which is going to have long-term support, is going to automatically condense and boost forward to satiate a fan base that has had a growth spurt in players because of partially the pandemic, partially because the Switch is so successful, and a growth spurt in the amount of time that all of these people have to sink into the game.
I just think I just think the game's been radio silent though for too long. Like there's this, we don't like.
Sure.
If they have a plan for stuff, cool. We have no idea what's going on with that game.
Sure. I still don't think that there's really a marginal update that's gonna get you personally back into the game, no matter what at this point.
I mean, I disagree, but whatever.
If they added a fucking coffee shop, Todd, you're not gonna just drop what you're doing.
A coffee shop is not going to be like, hey, I'm just bringing up like several things that like came with the original game that like did not come with this game.
I don't have a fucking book in front of me that tells me everything that launched in New Leaf, but New Leaf had a marginal update that came out like fucking 4 years later. So like, yeah. I don't know exactly what was there and not there at the beginning of that game, but I went and played New Leaf right before New Horizons came out or sometime last year to revisit that world.
Yeah, Liam was playing it a bunch. So.
And I would never go back to New Leaf over New Horizons, content included. Anyways, I don't know. I don't care about your opinion on Animal Crossing. You're entitled to your opinion, but I do care when you say that I give Nintendo a pass because I'm very fucking critical of Nintendo and I'm not giving them a fucking pass. How are you shaking your head right now?
Because I'm not going to go down this road, though. I mean,
I want to hash this out because I want to make it very clear to anyone listening. I want to make it very clear to anyone listening that I don't give anyone a fucking pass. What pass am I giving Nintendo right now? Please elaborate.
It's fine. It's fine.
No,
I've known you for a very long time. You've given Nintendo passes.
What pass am I actively, Mike or Dom?
Like whenever they make bad decisions, it's like. Hey, but this and this, but no, like
what pass am I giving
I've given you shit about this forever. It's not like I'm saying this out of the blue.
I know, but I want to make it very clear that I am not giving anyone a biased pass right now. What pass am I giving them?
No, it's not. You're not. It's fine.
You're such a fucking liar. You're smirking while you say this.
Audience can't see me smirk. You didn't have to tell them.
Jesus fucking Christ! I hate everyone right now. Anyone else have a game of the year they want to talk about? No, we don't. Perfect.
Animal Crossing.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Pass the Control Podcast, episode 265. As always, if you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, want to help support the show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can go to passcontroller.threadless.com, buy yourself some 6 swag, go to patreon.com/passcontroller, become a patron, or subscribe to us on Twitch at twitch.tv/passcontroller. But you know what? If you don't have a few bucks to get around, you want to help support the show, you can easily, very easily share us on social media, tell a friend about the show, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever delicious podcast reviews are able to be given. If you want to keep up with the conversation, hang out with the community, you can join our Discord, or you can follow me at bgroom. You can follow Mike at _mycopath, Todd at toddy_by_nature. Tell him how wrong he is about Animal Crossing, and follow Dom at ptc_one little spark. And again, thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode of the Pass the Control Podcast. And we will see you next week. Same saucer time, same saucer place. That's a callback to the conversation we had earlier, Mike, before we ended the show.
My phone was just at